You have seen through your face mask the thrills and frustrations of the Super Bowl quest. The 1990 season, you and your teammates celebrated an AFC championship title. But in your first Super Bowl ever, you watched a game-ending field goal attempt to win it all sail wide right. A year later, your hometown paper's headline screams more bad news. Now, 2 Super Bowl losses for you and your teammate, Bruce Smith.
It's just a terrible situation, and it's a really unfair situation that people tend to look at the Buffalo Bills as being losers.
Your drive to win this trophy continues. Twice more you have won the AFC championship game. That's 4 consecutive years you have won the conference title. But the Dallas Cowboys have won the last 2 Super Bowl matchups. And although the fans and the media have stuck you with the label of 4-time Super Bowl loser, you and your teammates see it otherwise.
We know we're winners, and I think in the long run, if I win a Super Bowl, it'll be great. If I don't, it was never meant to be, and I think everybody realizes not everybody can win it. But again, I still have a few more years left, and you never know.
We'll find out about this year in January at Super Bowl 29. But tonight, the Buffalo Bills play the Pittsburgh Steelers on ABC's Monday Night Football.
All the hits, bangs, and the flops. It's a Super Bowl season driving in full gear. ABC's big party, the 25th year. We gotta get ready. We gotta get right. Cause the Bills and the Steelers are button heads tonight. So get ready. I mean, get ready. Are you ready for the football? A Monday night party. We got Frank and Al and Dan. They're gonna get it kick-started. Lynn and the crew's all set. The crowd is psyched. Cause all my rowdy friends are back for Monday night.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Steel City on a beautiful, balmy mid-November evening. The skyline of the city has been illuminated with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a Monday Night Football. The Steelers are home tonight at Three Rivers Stadium, a sellout crowd on hand as the Steelers entertain the Buffalo Bills. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Glad you're with us for this one. A good football game. The Bills and the Steelers, an important game for both teams with a lot of playoff implications. The Steelers coming into tonight are 6-3, and they need a win tonight to stay one behind the 4-real Cleveland Browns. The Steelers coming in on a high note. They get running back Barry Foster back tonight, and in their minds is 1 year ago when they beat this Bills team in every facet of the game right here on Monday Night Football, 23-0. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bills are 5-4, and now they're not staggering, but this is a team that's coming in hurt. They need a win to stay one behind the Miami Dolphins in the AFC East.
Frank, it's not overstating it to say this is a vital game for them. Only one team in history has ever started a year 5-5 and made it to the Super Bowl, the 1979 Los Angeles Rams. The Bills have been simply terribly inconsistent. On October 9th, they played beautifully. They beat Miami at home. The next week, they turned around and at home lost to Indianapolis. Then they played their best game of the year against Kansas City, blew them away 44-10. Last week, they go to the Meadowlands. They make a ton of mistakes and lose. So they try to get back on track tonight. I know this is a recording, but the key to a Buffalo win, Thurman Thomas. He has a big night. They've got a great chance. If he doesn't, they're really scrambling. The Bills come into Pittsburgh, and through 25 years, Dan, a lot of folks have very much looked forward to Monday Night Football. None, however, more so than Bill Cowher.
For very good reason, Al, as the Steelers are going for their 3rd consecutive playoff appearance under Bill Cowher. One of the things that have propelled them is their record on Monday night. They are going for their 6th consecutive win tonight on Monday Night Football. They win, and they win big on Monday night. They also win the old-fashioned way. That's by playing sound defense and by running the football. They were leading the league in sacks coming into this weekend. Dallas has moved 2 in front. They're going to try to catch up. They run the football. Barry Foster has been out for 3 weeks. He's coming back tonight. Rookie Bam Morris has filled in. Frank mentioned what happened a year ago. They kept the ball for 45 minutes to only 15 for Buffalo. They want to climb on Buffalo early and remind them of a year ago.
So Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. It's a beautiful shot from above. The Goodyear Blimp Spirit providing the scenics this evening on a spectacular night temperature today in Pittsburgh got up into the low 70s. It's in the upper 60s right now. They expect rain, but not until after the game. Steve Christie to kick off, Pittsburgh to receive. And Dwight Stone dropping back for the Steelers. To the 10-yard line. Stone behind blocking, comes straight up the middle, and a good run back all the way out to the 42-yard line. And Bobby April, the special teams coach, reflecting that run back as the Steelers have good field position to begin the game. Neil O'Donnell had to leave last week's game. A bruised lower leg, x-rays negative, took every snap in practice this week and has performed very well on Monday nights in the past. Bam Morris is the rookie, though we will see Barry Foster. John L. Williams is the fullback, former Seahawk. Big Pen is the new starter, along with the rookie Charles Johnson, and Green, the tight end. Jackson, Love, Dawson, Kalis, and Searcy, a very good interior five. Bam Morris, third-round draft choice out of Texas Tech, picks up about 3. Bruce Smith in on the stop, and he spearheads the 3-4 Buffalo alignment. Hansen, Wright, and Bruce will be moving around tonight. As always, Bennett, Patton, Maddox, and Talley. Patton and Maddox playing very well on the inside. Washington and Smith are the corners. Jones and Darby are the safeties. 2nd and 7. Double tight end set for the Steelers. And with Johnson 81 in motion, a deep drop, time, and it's complete to the rookie Charles Johnson, the #1 draft choice out of Colorado, and a first down at the Buffalo Bills 45 and 11-yard gain.
I think it's a really good call by Ron Earhart, the offensive coordinator. They ran the ball last year against Buffalo for 227 yards. Expect Buffalo to overplay the run early. Smart call here, I think, on 2nd down, going to the pass. And try to loosen them up on the line of scrimmage, because they will be overplaying the run. They were embarrassed a year ago.
And with 2 tight ends there, you have to figure that they're going to concentrate on the run. It was a good call.
Here's Morris. Cuts it back and is tackled after a pickup of 2. Bill Hansen, number 90, in on the stop. The ball at the 43-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
And let's face it, the Steelers run the ball about as well as you can run it. 2nd in the league after 9 games. They are a good offensive line up front. Big Monty Dawson, the center, is about as good as they come.
There's Barry Foster. He'll come in on the 2nd or 3rd series tonight as Bill Cowher wants to ease him back into playing gently.
On 2nd and 8 out of the 2-back set. The play fake. O'Donnell buys time. Then it's tipped and it's incomplete. The coverage was very good. Marcus Patton, 53, got a hand on it to deflect it away. Good coverage by the Bills secondary.
Trying to get the ball into big Eric Green, the tight end, and Eric Green was drawing double coverage on his own, and Patton, the inside linebacker, has good mobility, good athleticism, got back in, but you saw the double coverage on the big tight end, and he is going to see that all night long because, let's face it, the 2 outside wide receivers, Charles Johnson and Andre Hastings and Yancey Thigpen, well, they are not Pro Bowl wide receivers yet.
I think Neil O'Donnell, when his tight end's covered like that, has got to look someplace else. He got lucky on that.
3rd and 8 out of the shotgun. O'Donnell scrambling, throws off balance, and the pass is caught out of bounds and is incomplete by Ernie Mills. It'll be 4th down at the 43-yard line. And O'Donnell is hurt. O'Donnell is shaken up again. He bruised his lower leg last week in Houston. He was hit as he released here and comes limping off.
That's the one he's favoring, too, and this was just a good coverage on the part of Buffalo. There were 4 wide receivers, and they all were running patterns about 7 or 8 yards down the field. O'Donnell looked across the entire field, couldn't find one, and he was hit right on that left leg by Darryl Talley. He has limped off.
Bill Hansen was there as well, but we may see Mike Tomczak.
Here is Royals, who's been tremendous this year at putting the ball inside the 20, and he has done it again. Mark Royals has kicked only 1 touchback this season. Willie Williams gets down there to save it from going into the end zone, and so Royals pins the Bills deep. Buffalo starts from the 3, 2:32 into the game. the age of 34, once again guiding the Buffalo Bills, and he begins this drive from the 3-yard line. The familiar names, Thomas and Gardner in the backfield, but Don Beebe is inactive tonight with a concussion. Copeland and Reed, the wideouts, Metzelar is the tight end. And up front is where they're really having problems. Fina, Lucina, Hull, Davis, and Parker, they're dinged, and they've been playing very inconsistently. Gardner, before he got set at fullback, slipped, but resets, and out of the eye, straight through the middle goes Thomas for a gain of about 3 up to the 6-yard line. The Steeler defense has been playing magnificently of late. Williams, Steed in the middle. Seals had 3 sacks last week at Houston. Green, Kirkland, Brown, and the perennial Pro Bowler Greg Lloyd. Rod Woodson, one of the all-time greats, with figures on the other side. Lake and Perry are the safeties. Perry has 6 interceptions this season. Gardner lines up as a tight end on the left side, and they give it to Thurman Thomas running to the strong side, and he takes it up to the 9-yard line. He is tackled there by Joel Steed. There's a look at O'Donnell, who came limping off after that last series, stretching it out.
Well, he had a bad bruise. In fact, they x-rayed it. They thought he might have broken a fibula last week, but he doesn't, and I'm sure we'll see him again. Meanwhile, for Buffalo, their big problem tonight is no speed on the outside. Their speed was represented in Don Beebe because of his concussion last week. He's sitting this one out, and they just don't have it out there. Andre Reed is the man they like to go to, but he is not a deep receiver. There he is, bottom of the screen.
Marv Levy watching his club on a 3rd and 5, but a whistle before the snap, and our first call of the night from the referee, Ed Hockley.
I think we had a flinch on the Buffalo offensive line. I thought their right tackle might have jumped. It's going to back him up even farther. That's Glenn Parker we're looking at right there. Let's take a look at it. Take a look at the top of your screen.
Steelers jump into a blitz, and that's what gets him into the flinch, I think.
Yeah, you see Parker, number 74. He flinched first. Then Metzelar, the tight end next to him, flinched as well.
3rd and 9, Buffalo from the 4. No score early in the first. Kelly throwing out of the end zone, and what a shot. It's incomplete. Andre Reed, who lives over the middle, has it dislodged by one of the hardest hitters in the league, Gary Jones, who comes in the dive.
Well, Gary Jones is big. He's 6'2" and about 215 pounds. And I was looking at him down in the field early, and you're right. Now, he just had number 83 right in his sights, picked him up as he came across the middle right there. He didn't even look at the ball. He was looking to unload on Andre Reed.
And this is exactly what Pittsburgh wanted to do. Get some hard hits in early in this ball game. Remind the Buffalo Bills what happened to them last year, 1 year ago tomorrow. They took a beating, and Pittsburgh wants to remind them that they've got another one in store for them tonight.
Chris Moore, it's a short kick. Fair caught by Rod Woodson at the 44, 39-yard boot. Now for our new weekly feature, the Leatherheads. Tonight, a look at a moment from a past Monday night game from a different perspective. The football's point of view.
MGM presents NFL's 1991 Chiefs-Raiders game starring the Leatherheads.
The Chiefs were down 21-17. Clink, get ready for the touchdown.
Take it, shake it, pump it up.
Get in there.
Yo, the bird, it's goal to goal. It don't matter that you scramble great and your pump fakes fine. They only love you, baby, if I'm over the line. Yeah. Touch. We going down. Take it, shake it, touchdown. La cucaracha, our team just gotcha. See you later, little Raider.
In business, there never seems to be enough of it. And the last thing you can afford to do is run out of it. Time.
In from Akron, Ohio, not far away, hovering above downtown and providing some spectacular scenics on a mid-November evening. Temperature in the upper 60s. Perfect weather. 10:51 to go. First quarter, no score. Pittsburgh has it for the second time at the Buffalo 44. O'Donnell sets up a screen. Bam Morris with a couple of blockers out in front. And Bennett runs him down from behind after he picks up about 7. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of 1995 Lincoln and Mercury automobiles. Miller Lite, expect great things. And Microsoft, where do you want to go today?
I think the pressure now falls squarely on the shoulders of the Buffalo Bills. defensive football team. Pittsburgh defensively has made a big hit. They have asserted themselves. I think it's up to Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith, and these guys now to reject Pittsburgh's attempt here to take a lead.
Here's Morris, first down on a 2nd and 3, all the way to the 23-yard line goes Byron Bam Morris.
Yeah, there it is.
The last part of that is if they can. If they can, this is the time to do it. Pittsburgh is setting the tempo of this football game, Frank, and Buffalo needs to try to recapture it.
Now, they set a pretty good tempo over the right side, and these are small inside linebackers. Patton goes 243. Maddox is 233. They have learned to play against the run a little better. They were rolled up pretty good last year, but they are still small, and this is a big offensive line, and they just bowled them out of there on that play.
And when you watch Bam run, you see where he got the name.
Bam, after that 14-yard pickup, gets about 4 here to the 19. Wright and Patton in on the tackle. Morris is averaging 4.2 yards a carry. Barry Foster averaging 4.3, and these days that's very good. The league as a whole, lower than it's been in years. The average rush this year, 3.7.
Well, there's a perfect look at it. He's hit by 2 Buffalo Bills, and he takes them both forward for another 2 yards.
I talked about the linebackers, Dan, but that front line, Hanson and Wright and Smith, they're not big either.
No, they're real quick, very active. They stunt, they move, but they don't have a lot of lead in their pants. They're not big guys.
2nd and 6 from the 19. Off the play fake, he's chased by Smith, and O'Donnell throws it away. With Bruce breathing down his neck, and Smith is shaking.
Well, Bruce is actually picked off by Jeff Wright. I think Bruce is going to be able, I think it would have been able to chase O'Donnell down, and O'Donnell is limping on his way back. Running at full speed is something that Neil O'Donnell's not going to be able to do. But watch Smith. He's going to come around the corner, and as he's bearing in on O'Donnell, watch from the right. That is Jeff Wright diving for O'Donnell, and he clips and picks off. Here it is. Watch 91. There's Wright. As he dives for O'Donnell, he gets in the way of Bruce Smith. But Neil O'Donnell doesn't have a lot of scrambles like that left. As a matter of fact, he's coming out of the game. He took a timeout, and he's hobbled.
Well, it's going to be the kind of injury it's going to hurt him, and then he's going to feel better. And I think we'll probably see him again, but he is hurting.
8:42 to go in the first. Nothing.
Interception, 10 quarterback sacks. Got himself 10 penalties also, Dan.
Well,
he loves to hurry across that line.
He loves to jump the count. Neil O'Donnell stays in the game. But let's be serious. He's got a giant bullseye painted on his uniform. He's a little bit hobbled.
After a Steelers timeout on 3rd and 6, at the high snap taken out of the shotgun, and then John L. Williams goes nowhere on a play that does not fool the Buffalo Bills. Henry Jones is there to make the tackle, and that's going to set up a Gary Anderson field goal attempt of about 39 yards.
Well, with the success the Steelers have had going right at him, you kind of wonder about that call. They've been bullying them off the line of scrimmage, and anything is going to go laterally. This is a very quick team, Buffalo. They are very effective against anything that is late developing.
39-yard attempt. Gary Anderson seeking the 300th field goal of his illustrious career. And there it is. So the Steelers take advantage of good field position after the punt. 8:01 to go in the first quarter. Pittsburgh draws first blood. 3-0.
His left lower leg and ankle rewrapped and retaped on the Pittsburgh sideline. Sometimes, Frank, that tape job, when you get running around, your ankle begins to swell, and it causes you a lot of pain. Sometimes it's better to get a little looser wrap put on.
Anderson's kick is fielded by Yanel Jourdain from the 3. And Jourdain runs it back to the 30-yard line, a 27-yard return, and that's where the Bills will begin their second possession. Well, next Monday, we go to Houston, and there was news today. The Giants will take on the Oilers. Jack Pardee was fired today. Jeff Fisher, the defensive coordinator, is now the new head coach of the Houston Oilers. In fact, we will speak with Jeff at halftime tonight. So the Giants are reeling. They've dropped 7 straight. The Oilers are 1-9. New coaching change, and apparently the run and shoot will be junked.
Well,
the matchup next Monday.
That's because Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, was fired along with Jack Pardee.
And Dick Curry's going to run the offense. More on that at the half. From the 30-yard line. Kelly sets up the screen to Carwell Gardner, who bangs his way out to the 40 and close to a first down. Levon Kirkland making the tackle.
And if you haven't seen these Buffalo Bills lately, they do not run their hurry-up offense quite so much as they used to. Marv Levy making that decision along with his offensive coordinator Jim Schaffner, and a lot of it has to do with the fact they've changed a lot of people up in that offensive line. They like to come out of the huddle, give them a chance to think about it rather than going quickly at the line of scrimmage, and other teams have just defensed it better.
2nd and 1, and that's a first down for Thurman Thomas. They began that no huddle in 1990. They've been to 4 Super Bowls with it, but as was the case last week, I wouldn't be surprised to see the conventional huddle in the first quarter tonight and then maybe a change-up in the second quarter.
That is in stark contrast to the way the Buffalo Bills used to do offensive business. The fewest by any National Football League teams of 20-plus yard pass plays. Hard to believe with this offense that used to terrorize everybody in the NFL.
From the 42, Kelly buys time. Nobody open. Copeland was covered, and down goes Kelly as Chad Brown knocks him to the turf. 2nd and 10.
Just good coverage by the Steelers. Woodson on his man. Carnell Lake helping him out. Kelly had no place to put it. Finally just threw it away. He's one of the best in the business, and he's been tested a lot this year. He will gamble. You give him a good, strong inside move, and he thinks you're going to make that move for a slant in or something. He'll go for the ball, and he can be beaten with the outside, but you pay a price.
2nd and 10 at the 42. Here's Thurman looking for room. Nothing. Nothing happening. Number 99, Levon Kirkland is there. Third-year man out of Clemson.
Talk about the Steelers offense and their offensive line. They have played great defense over the last few weeks. 5th overall after 9 weeks of play and 4th against the rush. But as Dan said at the top of the show also, they led the league coming into this last weekend's play with 29 sacks. Dallas recaptured at 31, and they're going to try and get it back tonight.
3rd and 14 from the 38. Steelers leading 3-0. Kelly throws an out, incomplete, intended for Billy Brooks, and it's 4th down.
Boy, Brooks is arguing that he was held on the play. Good solid coverage here by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see if Brooks has a case. He's working against Deion Figures, their #1 draft choice of a year ago. Plants comes back, and Figures does put a hand on him and gets it out there, and that kind of contact happens. He didn't grab him, and it didn't seem to really impede him from going back. But, Frank, we've seen less that have drawn flags.
This year we have.
Yep.
Anytime you touch him after 5 yards, you can draw a flag.
We've seen a lot less get flagged.
Chris Moore to kick toward Rod Woodson. It's a 46-yard kick, fielded at the 16 and a run back to the 20. Tackled there by Mike Dumas. 5:34 left in the opening quarter. Steelers 3. Bills nothing. Pulled hamstring, so he is out of the game now. The humongous tight end for the Steelers. He's gone. Jonathan Hayes is in there to spell him. And Barry Foster is in the game for the first time in a month. Barry comes back after the sprained knee in the backfield. And they leave him in the block as O'Donnell retreats, throws over the middle, and hits a wide-open Johnson, who picks up a first down up at the 36-yard line. 16-yard gain. Charles Johnson's second reception, tackled by Henry Jones.
Gets better every week, this Charles Johnson. Came out of the University of Colorado, first-round draft pick, had a lot to learn, and he is learning fast. He is a superb athlete, an academic scholar athlete also at Colorado, and he seems to be improving almost with every game.
At the 36, 5 minutes to go first quarter. Steelers with the ball and the lead, 3-0. And here is Barry Foster banging his way up to the 41 for a gain of 5. He's tackled by Mark Maddox.
Barry is wearing a rather large brace on his left knee, and I had a chance to ask him before the game how it felt with that brace. There you get a good look at it there underneath his sock. And he said, "I'm not comfortable with it. I feel like it really slows me down." But it's the prudent thing to do. Wear that brace for a week or two, wear it during practice, and then shed it. It's going to take a while for Barry Foster to get back into it. and the Steelers are lucky they have the luxury of Bam Morris to fill it the holes while he's out.
Foster goes the other way, picks up a first down, and then runs out of bounds at the 45-yard line. John L. Williams threw a beautiful block to string him. Barry Foster with a 14-yard pickup.
I'm not so sure Barry, before he missed his 3 weeks with a bad knee, wouldn't have planted that left leg. That's the one with the brace on it, and just boomed right into that tackler.
I don't think
he took the sideline rather easily.
And I think Henry Jones is thinking to himself, that's quite all right. Go ahead, Barry. You take the sidelines. I'll give it to you.
He had a lot of time to think about it then. Now, I'll take it over here. I got the first down.
Thomas Smith, rather, number 28. I'm sure he's delighted that Barry said, I'll just sit this one out a minute.
From the 45-yard line. O'Donnell. That's tipped and almost intercepted. Mark Maddox, who picked one last week at the Meadowlands, almost had another.
Well, that's bad judgment that time on the part of the quarterback, Neil O'Donnell. He got away with it. He does not throw interceptions. One of the lowest rates in the league. He's thrown, I think, 2 in the last 5 games or something like that. Just something incredible. But this is a bad pick. He was throwing into the middle into a tremendous crowd and almost picked off. Jonathan Hayes, the intended receiver, he's not one of your better receivers to begin with.
Maddox almost got it, and that's the second time that O'Donnell has challenged the middle of the field, and he could have 2 interceptions for his trouble.
On 2nd and 10, here's Foster. And Barry fights his way inside the 40 to the 39. It'll be 3rd and 4.
Well, that's what Barry Foster needs, too, a little combat, getting hit from all sides to get kind of back into the swing of things. And he shouldn't worry about wearing that knee brace. He should talk to Thurman Thomas of the Bills. He's been wearing one for years, ever since he injured that knee in college.
Matt Darby came up and tried to lay a lick on Barry Foster that time, and Darby got propelled 2 yards backwards for his efforts. One thing about Foster and Morris, when they get tackled, they keep going forward.
3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Steelers leading 3-0. A little toss to John L. Williams. No, sir. Coming up from the secondary, Kurt Scholes to break up the play.
Well, I'll tell you, that had to be something that was put in just for this game. This is a flashback to the 40s.
And Bruce Smith is shaken again.
Little pitch out. Used to pull the tackle. You remember this play, Dan?
Oh, sure.
Little pitch to the halfback.
But it's dead when you get corner force like this. Scholes is too far upfield. There's nobody there to block him. In that defense with a quick corner force, that play is dead. You can see the pain that Bruce Smith is in over on the Buffalo sideline.
Here's Mark Royals. He'll try to plant another one inside the 20. He's been doing it all year. He bounces it at the 6. Boy, he is spectacular. Dwight Stone downs it at the 3. Mark Royals has been doing that all season.
That's football's version of a sandwich and a balata ball. Straight up and a soft landing on the green.
Last week, he punted 8 times inside the 20, an NFL record in the game at the Astrodome.
Shows you a lot about their offense, too. They have struggled, and it's a good thing they've had this weapon.
Both punts tonight down at the 3. That's 27 kicks this season for him inside the 20 and only 1 touchback. At the 3-yard line, the Bills with 2:13 to go in the quarter. Kelly retreats under pressure, throws, and the catch made up at the 13. And Copeland takes an extra shot, and forward progress will net him close to a first down. Ray Seals with the pop, and Bruce Smith in agony.
Oh, we saw him go down earlier when he was pursuing O'Donnell. He grabbed at his shoulder that time. I don't know what the problem is right now. Meanwhile, Copeland with a good drive. Had a couple of good plays that Copeland made against the Jets last week, and he is in there in place of Don Beebe. And he does not give you the speed that Beebe offered the Bills from the outside.
With the forward progress before he was driven back, it was enough yardage for a Buffalo first down. And a big first down when you're starting inside your own 5.
Now at the 13, 1st and 10. Kelly with a short drop. Andre Reed makes his first reception of the night. He's out of bounds. Dion Figures there with the coverage at the 21, and that's catch number 48 for Andre. And the Bills pick up the tempo here, going with the no huddle.
It's a good changeup, and of course you probably know, designed to keep the defense that you have on the field preventing them from changing.
Thurman Thomas, he has a first down, so they've taken it from the 3 out to the 27 with a pair of first downs, a minute and a half to go in the first quarter.
It's also when Jim Kelly starts to call his own plays.
Bills up at the 27. Everybody out into the pattern. The catch is made by Thurman Thomas, and he's run out of bounds by Chad Brown up at the 33.
This is very fatiguing to a defensive football team. Here we have an unseasonably warm night here in Pittsburgh. I think it's a very smart move by the Buffalo Bills. Put a little stress and a little strain on the Pittsburgh defense, and looks like young Mr. Chad Brown and Thurman Thomas getting it on verbally a little bit. Now the crowd starts to come into it.
2nd and 4. And it is picked off by Rod Woodson.
Goodbye.
Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Oh, we told you he would gamble. If that would have been a hitch and go, it would have been 6 the other way, but he will take that chance.
Boy, did he eat that up. I'm not sure Rod Woodson even took a step backwards in defensing that pass pattern.
He is so confident in his ability to recover from a mistake.
If he went back, it couldn't have been more than a yard or so. Whoa, did he eat that alive?
Top of your screen. Trying to get the ball out to Bill Brooks, and he timed it out absolutely perfect.
Boy, it's hard to smother one any more than that. Rod almost hurt himself trying to slow down. Everybody wants to showboat a little bit now. He almost slipped and hurt himself.
Anderson for the point after. It's the 3rd time in Woodson's illustrious career he's run an interception back for a touchdown. He has 4 others on returns, the 7th of his career. 10-0 Pittsburgh. A 10-0 lead. The point after by Gary Anderson was the 400th of his career. Jim Kelly had the team moving. Bruce Smith is hurting, and the Bills are hurting right now, and arrears by 10.
Dan, you're right. It looked like Rod Woodson was in the huddle. He didn't take one step backwards.
Now, here's a guy that named to the all-time NFL team, and a play like that illustrates why. Textbook.
Short kickoff by Anderson, taken at the 11-yard line by Yanel Jourdain. And he is rolled down up at the 29.
Let's take a look at that play again by Rod Woodson, if we could. Here's Woodson lined up right here. Here's Brooks. Watch Woodson. He's just going to sit here and then smother the play. It's almost as if he was in Buffalo's huddle. He's locked up man for man with Brooks. I don't know if Brooks telegraphed it somehow, if Kelly did. I don't know what Rod Woodson saw, but he saw something, because, Frank, that's unbelievable that he doesn't respect something going deep any more than that.
I've watched him a lot of years, Dan. He'll take the risk. He's been beaten for touchdowns.
From the 28, in the final minute of the first quarter, here's Thurman Thomas, and he bangs his way up to the 34-yard line behind a block of John Davis. Glenn Parker helping out as well. Gerald Williams on the tackle.
You know, we showed that graphic the last time Buffalo had the ball, how they have really struggled in their deep passing game. You don't throw that many balls over 20 yards. That's the type of corner play that you get in return.
2nd and 4. Kelly throws, and Copeland was the intended receiver. He was covered by Figures. Incomplete. 3rd down.
All of that's factored in by a cornerback like Woodson. I say like Woodson because there are not many like Woodson, but he just absorbs that all week long. He looks at Kelly, he watches Kelly. He probably took a long look at Brooks, and something clicked with him. And he was willing to take the risk, give up 6 points even, and go for it.
Well, Buffalo need to make lightning strike here.
3rd and 4. Great protection. The throw is there up at the 43-yard line. Andre Reed makes his 2nd catch, and that's a first down on what will be the final play of the first quarter.
You think it's a coincidence they ran that pattern to the other side of the field? I think not.
But the Bills have dug a hole through 1. Pittsburgh leading 10-0, and back we come with Monday Night Football after this message and a word for ABC station.
He's telling us that he's been notified by the Buffalo sideline that Bruce Smith may return, but he is in real pain on the Buffalo sideline. A moment ago, he was trying to raise his arm just to shoulder level and was having real difficulty doing it.
It's not his blood, by the way, on his jersey.
Start the second quarter.
Oh, but it's
Buffalo
somebody.
from the 43-yard line. Kelly throws, and Reed makes the catch, but he was out of bounds. Covered by Dion Figures. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Dierdorf, Lynn Swan in Pittsburgh. A flag is down on the play. The jam shoulder. Bruce Smith will come back. We talked about Eric Green before. Ed Hockley tells us the call is against Buffalo.
Illegal use of the hands against the Bills. Yep, that summarizes the feelings of 66-year-old Marv Levy.
Illegal hands to the face by the offense, number 67. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's their remaining Pro Bowl player, Kent Hull, their center. Gone are names like Will Wolford, Howard Ballard, Jim Richard to retirement. Let's take a look at
2 years, too.
There's Hull, number 67, and he gets the right hand up in the face mask right there. You see the helmet being forced way back. Good call by the official. Can't get your hand on somebody's helmet and twist his neck like that.
On 1st and 20. Thomas, he gets separated from the football by Carnell Lake.
Well, we talked about Gary Jones earlier. Carnell Lake will put a hit on you also. In fact, this secondary is one of the best and one of the most undersung around. Carnell Lake is a superb athlete. They don't mind him getting man for man on a wide receiver. He can do that. He can come up and play the run. So it's tough. He's on that side usually with Woodson. Tough to run against, and he shows you right here he can put a hit on.
And this Pittsburgh team feels that they are so much more physical and can take the physical game to the Buffalo Bills. And so far, they're doing exactly that.
On 2nd and 20, Kelly pump fakes, and that doesn't fool anybody, and Kevin Green gets the sack.
Number 8 for Kevin Green and 30 for the Steelers.
He just totally collapses Glenn Parker at right tackle.
And he's not that big either, Dan, is he?
No, he's not. Kevin Green, really just 245 pounds. But look, he gets up underneath Parker, just runs him all the way back. You have to be a little more physical as an offensive lineman. You got to challenge the guy. You got to deliver a strong enough flow to stop his momentum upfield. You can't just give.
3rd and 29 to convert. They had to get it to the Pittsburgh 47, and another sack. What a series for the Steelers defense. Chad Brown at the 11-yard line.
And that sack is caused by Kevin Green, who comes on a pass rush, reads the screen, and takes off running with Kenneth Davis the back. That's a play by Green, even though he was nowhere near the quarterback.
And Kelly had no place to put the ball.
Watch Kevin Green right here. He stops. He sees Davis coming out, runs with him. Kelly wants to go with the screen, and he takes it away from him. Chad Brown gets the sack, but Kevin Green made the play.
It is 4th and 40. Moore hopes he can punt for a first down. It's a 47-yard kick. Rod Woodson runs out of bounds, and a flag comes in at the end of the play. In fact, there are 2 flags down there.
And you know what? He barely made it by about 3 yards, punting for the first down. You don't hear that 4th and what was it, 40 what?
And 40.
Just an even 40?
An even 40.
That's when you know it wasn't a real good offensive series.
No. A penalty and 2 sacks.
You know, they can have those clipboards with a lot of different plays on them.
Yeah.
None of them got 4th and 40 next
You
to
know,
them.
and for the Bills, this, I think, probably already starting to smack of a recurring nightmare. A nightmare took place 1 year ago tomorrow night.
Illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 37, during the return. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Carnell Lake blocked Steve Tasker. We'll check it out on the replay.
There's Tasker on the right, number 89, the best special teams player in the league, and yep, he gets hit in the back by Carnell Lake. Well, that's one thing that moves Pittsburgh back.
Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills in a very critical game. Bruce Smith shaking that jam shoulder, but he is in there.
And I think that's an indicative statement by Bruce Smith as to the urgency being felt by the Buffalo Bills, facing the prospect of going to 500 being out-hit, out-toughed in a ball game here. A guy like Bruce Smith wants to make something happen.
O'Donnell from the 33. A one-hand grab by Foster, and Barry takes it up to the 42-yard line. O'Donnell went down. Henry Jones made the tackle.
You want to make a guess who put Neil O'Donnell on the floor of the stadium?
I have a feeling 78 might have been in there.
I think your feeling is accurate.
And he almost got to him before O'Donnell could unload the ball to Barry, who made a super play. Working through John Jackson, spins to the inside.
He's beautiful to watch. He is beautiful to watch.
You know, as well as he plays against the run, he also is, this year, has become doubly tough. He is tough against the run.
On 2nd and 3, here's Foster again. Probing the middle, comes up a little short of the first.
Want to guess who's on Barry Foster's lower legs there? How about Bruce Smith?
It'll be 3rd and 1. A look at downtown Pittsburgh. The Golden Triangle. On a gorgeous night. Bruce Smith against the run. Most tackles for losses or no gain on rushing plays. That's a figure that not too many people pay attention to, but it's very worthy to note that those fellas right there, you don't hear about them a lot in that regard, but that's your leaderboard in that category, and Smith has to come out of the game on 3rd and a short one. And Foster is able to get it up to the 44 and pick up the first down, just barely.
Ooh, he just spun away from Darryl Talley. Talley was in there for a loss, and he pulled free, and you can see Talley is upset. He had him short of the first down, and Foster also making a good play.
That's
tough
enough
to be out of there for 3 weeks and come back in.
Sure is. Enough for the first down, but Bruce Smith again out of the game, and boy, is he hurting. Boy, you admire his trying to play.
James Patton takes his spot at right end, and O'Donnell gets banged down by Cornelius Bennett at the 35-yard line. So with Smith out, Bennett, his alter ego, picking up the slack.
Yeah, he picks up sack number 5. Biscuit Cornelius Bennett, and he is Bruce Smith's counterpart on the other side. A nice little game. Hanson to the outside, jumps over the block, and then zeroes in on O'Donnell, and good coverage downfield by the Bills. O'Donnell really ate that ball. He had nowhere to go with it, and look at this. Bruce Smith back out on the field.
That's going to probably be the pattern most of the night. In for as long as he can stay in and out for a play or two. 2nd and 18. Foster goes nowhere. He is written down by Oliver Barnett, and the crowd doesn't like the call.
Just before Bruce came back into the lineup over the sideline, you can see the pain. They're manipulating the left arm. It's the shoulder, and it happened early in the game when he was in pursuit of Neil O'Donnell, and his own man Jeff Wright cut him down, and he fell on that shoulder.
3rd and 17. Steelers leading 10-0 early in the 2nd quarter. O'Donnell settles underneath for Charles Johnson, but he is written out of bounds at the 44-yard line, well shy of the first down, and we'll see if Mark Royals can put another punt inside the 20.
Well, that was a good series by Buffalo defensively. They stiffened when they had to. They're down 10-0, and now their offense better get off their duffs and make something happen, or this could be an awful long night for Buffalo.
O'Donnell just a little late getting back and picking up the open receiver, Charles Johnson. O'Donnell in a lot of trouble before he could unleash the ball.
Royals kicking. Jeff Burris, the Notre Dame rookie, accepts it at the 19-yard line and brings it back to the 24, tackled by Victor Jones. A little pushy-shovey goes on with 9:54 left. First half, 10-0 Steelers. On November 14th, who would have thought we could have worked this game in Aloha shirts?
Warm today. I think a near record temperature here.
One of the warmest places in the entire country. And folks in Buffalo, we know it was in the 70s in Buffalo today too. It was beautiful in Buffalo too. So
warm down on the field also. The players, you can see, they were feeling it.
But there's a front moving in tomorrow from the 23-yard line. Kenneth Davis breaks the initial tackle. Picks up 3, and you're right, Dan. This is a critical time now. The second quarter, Buffalo has to generate something offensively here.
Well, they are they play, what, 11 games, or rather 3 games in 11 days. They have Green Bay on Sunday. They have Detroit on Thanksgiving, and, of course, the Steelers here tonight.
And let's face it, they don't have a lot of rooters around the AFC. You know, 4 consecutive years they've been the AFC champions, and Pittsburgh tonight knows they have a chance not only to help their own cause, but to kind of drive a stake into the heart of the Buffalo Bills at the same time, something they very much like to do.
2nd and 6, Davis again, and down he goes. Kevin Green finished him off after he was initially hit by LaVon Kirkland. So Thurman Thomas gets a breather, and Kenneth Davis gets racked up. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation. De Beers, a diamond is forever. And the beer that's colder, bolder, gets smooth as ice. Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born.
Hey, you don't lose a whole lot when you bring in Ken Davis. He is a big playmaker for the Buffalo Bills, has been over the years, but of course Thurman Thomas is one of the all-time greats. But not a bad backup, Ken Davis.
Blitz 10, and Davis makes the catch, but Lloyd wraps him up, trying to strip the football, and knocks him down at the 26-yard line, and Woodson on the blitz that time knocks Kelly to the turf.
Boy, there's no defense against the corner blitz, especially when the corner's as big as Rod Woodson. He's going to come right here off the bottom. There he comes. He's lined up on the guy in the slot, and there's just nobody to block him. There is nobody to block him. When it's well timed by the corner, the quarterback is going to take a hit. He might get sacked, but he is going to get hit.
And Woodson got hit himself enough, or shaken enough, that he takes himself out, and they send Charles Johnson back to receive this kick by Chris Moore. And the rookie from Colorado takes it at the 35 and brings it back to the 48-yard line, where he's tackled by Steve Tasker. So the Steelers have it near midfield, 7:40 to go in the half. Pittsburgh 10, Buffalo nothing.
You know, Thurman Thomas on the sidelines. He was out of that last series, and they have taken the tape off one ankle, and they're working on. Let's go down to Lynn Swan. He's got an update. We'll be going down there after the play. Lynn is getting the information. We just thought he came out for a breather, but all of a sudden they are re-wrapping his ankle.
Pittsburgh has it. Bam Morris is back in the game, the running back. 7:40 to go. Ernie Mills is in motion in the first half, and Bam takes it to the 50. And now let's get that injury update from Swanee.
Well, Thurman Thompson is certainly not fatigued and is very comfortable down here, but he didn't go in that last series because his ankle was bothering him. He tried to work with the pumps on his shoe, couldn't get it adjusted, so he just sat out for a while. And Dan, you're right. It is indicative of how important this game is for the Buffalo Bills that Bruce Smith is still in this ball game. But you should watch the focus as he tries to concentrate through the pain on the sideline to get him ready, get himself ready for each play. It's amazing. Al?
All right, thank you, Lynn. 2nd down and 9 from the 50. O'Donnell chased. A little dump off to Morris for the first down. And a lot more. Bam takes it to the 18 before he's rolled down by Marcus Patton. He broke the tackle of Mark Maddox way back upfield. 33-yard gain.
Steelers need this kind of a play. And O'Donnell got out of trouble, and Morris stayed alive for him. Under pressure, O'Donnell spins away, gets away from Patton.
How close did he come to stepping out of bounds?
And Bam stayed alive for him. He came very close to stepping out right there, but he didn't.
Sure
the official
did.
right on top of it.
Boy, this guy is something. A 3rd-round draft choice. Imagine that.
How about the play Marcus Patton made? He's in the backfield, then he goes downfield to make the tackle at the 17-yard line. Bam takes it to the 11-yard line.
Boy, and you come right back with him after he makes that big play. Goes about 35 yards. You give him the call. Ron Earhart certainly not concerned whether he's in the right kind of shape to get consecutive calls.
What do coaches say? He's too young to get tired. You're too young to complain. You're too young to get tired.
After 4 weeks, the last 4 weeks, Emmitt Smith leading the league in rushing over that period. Means of San Diego, Harvey Williams of the Raiders, and then there was Bam.
Barry Sanders changed all that last night.
2nd and 5. Here's Morris swinging to the left side, and Bam Morris is in there for the touchdown. But John L. Williams was holding on the play, and the flag is down.
And Matt Darby just got saved from a very embarrassing moment.
There are 3 flags down.
Matt Darby got saved from a very embarrassing moment. That's not the way to take on Bam Morris and get carried into the end zone.
Holding by the offense, number 22. 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
John L. gets the call.
He's not even saying I didn't either.
This is the all-time holding. You're right, Frank. 3 flags, all for the same thing.
Right on the corner. When you do it on the corner, you never get away with it. Henry Jones came up for the force, and John L. Williams gets the takedown.
Well, Buffalo gets a reprieve. Bam gets a break. And Buffalo doesn't really get much of a break. Not when one guy comes out and Barry Foster comes in.
Steelers with 3 times as much yardage, 5:30 to go in the half. Pittsburgh leading 10-0. It's 2nd and 15 at the 21. And it's Foster handing it to Mills on a reverse. He escapes and then brings it back to the 23-yard line. He's tackled there by Mark Maddox.
Ron Earhart getting wild in his old age, huh?
Boy, Mike Lodish almost had Mills for a big loss, and Mills was able to slip the tackle of Lodish. Not like Ron Earhart.
One of the good guys in the NFL, Ron Earhart.
And one of the talented guys in the NFL, former head coach with New England, 10 years with the Giants, got a couple of Super Bowls as offensive coordinator, 21 and 25, and Ray Hanley came in. They didn't see eye to eye, and so he joined Bill Cowher here in Pittsburgh, and he's done a great job.
Pittsburgh on 3rd and 10 or more, 2 first downs in the last 40, and here they are in that situation, 3rd and 16, and he can make it 2 for 41. John L. Williams, even had he made the catch, would have been considerably shy of the first down, and that'll set up a 39 or 40-yard Gary Anderson field goal effort. The holding call cost the Steelers the opportunity to get it into the end zone, and they'll settle for a 3-point attempt.
And it's one of those holding calls that you can look at and say, if he wouldn't have held, it wouldn't have been a touchdown. It really was right at the point of attack, and you'd have to assume that Henry Jones would have gotten in on that play.
Anderson seeking his 2nd 39-yard field goal of the night. He opened the scoring with one. And it's a replay.
Boy, he's good. He'll be a free agent at the end of the year. I think he might get some interest.
4:49 to go in the half. Pittsburgh extends its advantage to 13-zip. New York and San Francisco and these other cities that look so beautiful from the air. And then there's Pittsburgh with the Golden Triangle, the confluence of the rivers, and there sits Three Rivers Stadium.
All the bridges. And they love their Pittsburgh Steelers, and well, they should.
They've enjoyed their share of success over the years.
Ran into Chuck Noll on the way into the game tonight.
This kick is taken by Jourdain at the 6-yard line, and he gets popped up at the 25-yard line.
You could hear that and feel it all the way up in the booth.
That's Gary Jones, and we talked about him and how hard he hits in the secondary, and he does the same thing on special teams. Now we'll see about Thurman Thomas is still on the sideline, so Kenneth Davis starts this series again for the Buffalo Bills.
Thomas missed a game earlier in the season, but it was a knee that kept him out of the Chicago Bear game that he injured in our Denver Monday night.
In fact, it's Jourdain who stays in the game as the tailback. And Kelly throws, and the catch is made up at the 41-yard line by Russell Copeland for a first down, a gain of 15. And the Bills working without a huddle, 4.5 minutes to go in the half. So they have Davis on the sideline, and you've got Thomas on the sideline, and they're going to go with Yanel Jourdain.
If Buffalo can just drive the field, as they are so capable of doing, get a touchdown, go to halftime at 13-7, this is still anybody's game here.
Here's Jourdain going nowhere. Jourdain, first-year player out of Southern Illinois, and the former Saluki is tackled by Kevin Green.
They have got to find a way to get down the field and get some points.
It's just a field to a game. There is a dominance, a physical dominance on the part of the Steelers, even though you know that the have the capabilities, the Bills, of making that big play, but there's a feel to this one that they are just getting smacked.
Buffalo has not advanced past its own 43. And on 2nd and long, it is dropped. It is incomplete at the 45. Andre Reed covered by Rod Woodson.
I don't know whether Woodson might have got a hand and knocked it out of there. Andre Reed, Woodson was saying he didn't have control of the ball. Let's take a look. Maybe you have an opportunity to see.
Well, Andre,
he put a hand in there, left hand, and knocked it out.
Beautiful work by Woodson. Again, Reed, one of those guys playing hurt. Bad knee.
3rd and 11. From the 39, 13-0 Steelers. Kelly throws, and the catch made by Copeland. Did he get the first down, though? As we widen out, you can see that he has to get just across the 50.
They're going to give him the
give it to him.
They're going to give him. I didn't think he got across the 50.
Now, the ball, I think, was just over the 50, and that's, of course, where they mark it.
Let's see where we'll take a quick look at it. Oh, and he got a foot across the line. Tough to tell whether the ball did. Nonetheless, Buffalo first down.
They give it to him, and you know, Jourdain slips through the middle. And Jourdain takes it inside the 35 to the 34. Finally tackled by Perry, and he's saluted by Thurman Thomas.
Well, everybody who's rooting for Buffalo should salute that. What an effort. What an effort by Jourdain.
Yeah, he kind of surfaced last week with a couple of fine kickoff returns. We know he's a good athlete because had anything happened to any of the wide receivers, he could have gone to wide receiver tonight.
From the 34, and Kelly gets taken to the turf by Greg Lloyd.
Well, you're asking an awful lot. You're trying to ask John Davis to come all the way over from his right guard spot and pick off a blitzer from the far side of the formation.
You know, I think they missed the handoff on this. I think this was going to be a draw play to Jourdain.
Davis is coming all the way over there trying to make something happen. There's no way he can make that block. If that's the case, it's a blown play. That's tough to tell.
2nd and 18. Kelly under pressure again. Sacked again. Ray Seals, who had 3 last week, sacks him back at the Buffalo 48.
Kelly showing his frustration with the fact that he had time to throw the ball. None of his receivers could get open for him. He had plenty of time to deliver the football. Steps back up, just nobody there.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Earlier they had a 4th and 40. Now they've got a 3rd and 28, and the crowd loves it. Their Steelers lead 13-zip. As the Goodyear blimp Spirit provides the overhead view into Three River Stadium, which is becoming a house of horrors for the Buffalo Bills.
They sure are seemingly infatuated with 3rd and very, very long.
Jim Kelly brings a hell of an attitude to the huddle, doesn't he? Did you see that shot a moment ago? You could just read his lips. Let's go, guys. Give me a little time.
Unfortunately, here comes Lloyd, here comes Green, here comes Seals.
On 3rd and 28, they rush 4. They get a lot of heat on him. They almost sack him again. He throws off balance, and the catch is made by Billy Brooks at the 34-yard line, but well short of the first down.
In field goal range, however, that was a big play. Great play by Kelly. Almost sacked.
Almost sacked by, I think Jason Gilden, number 92, is the player that almost gets him. That was some nimble work by Jim Kelly to stay alive and then deliver a very accurate throw downfield to Billy Brooks.
Darnell Lake also on a safety blitz.
That was all Jim Kelly.
4th and 10. Steve Christie has not missed a kick this season. He's had a perfect year. He's 16 of 16 in field goal attempts, 21 of 21 in conversion attempts. The Bills are going to take...
This will be about a 51-yarder, won't it?
A timeout, as they set up for a 51 or 52-yard attempt with 1:13 to go in the opening half.
They speak it in England, France, and...
Christie's perfect season can continue. It will be a 52-yard attempt because Frank Reich's going to put it down at the 42. He has a career long of 59 last year against Miami. And Christie's kick is good. The perfect year continues. Just good.
And that's his longest of the year up until this point. His 16 field goals, the longest had been 48 yards.
There is only one field goal kicker in history, a regular field goal kicker, who has gone through a season not missing a field goal, and that was Tony Zendejas. Take a look at this. It just does get
Talk
over.
about being good by the whiskers on your chinny chin chin.
Look at that.
It's the perfect night for a field goal kicker, however, because there's not a breath of air moving.
Boy, look at that look that we give you there of how close that came. Gutsy move by Marv Levy. That's how desperately Buffalo needed some points, because Pittsburgh would have had plenty of time and very good field position if that Christie field goal isn't good. Look at this. You can see the shadow of the ball. Look at that. Man, some kick by Christie.
Give Jim Kelly a big assist on that one. He bought a lot of time until he could get a receiver open.
The Canadian connection. Steve Christie, a native of our good friends to the north from Ontario.
Talked about as you look at Dwight Stone back deep. Tony Zendejas with the Rams in 91, 17 of 17, but he missed one extra point. At this moment, Christie having the greatest season ever in terms of percentage. No field goal misses, no extra point misses, but a short kickoff here, and Yancey Thigpen brings it back to the 45-yard line with a minute to play in the half.
Well, Pittsburgh gets the ball up there anyway.
And they have 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, if this is not the tailor-made offense to move down the field in a hurry. We saw how Buffalo doesn't have a lot of big plays. The Steelers throw the ball to their wide receivers fewer than any team in the NFL. So they are not a quick strike come from behind ball club.
And realistically, they have to get to about the 37 or 38, or rather the 33 or 34 before Gary Anderson can try a field goal, because he's only good for about 50 yards.
From the 45-yard line, O'Donnell throws. It's a short gain as Yancey Thigpen makes the catch in their 47.
And the clock keeps moving. Forward progress stopped in the field of play.
And the Steelers will conserve their timeouts. They have a pair. They lead by 10. And wide open at the 35 of Pittsburgh is Ernie Mills. He takes it to the 27. O'Donnell says, give me a timeout with 29 seconds remaining. 25-yard gain.
Well within field goal range now.
Well, Corey can't believe it. Only rushed 3, dropped 8. They still made it.
And incomplete, intended for Yancey Thigpen. It takes a little shove at the end. 2nd down.
Well, you made my day.
Good play by O'Donnell. Good coverage on Thigpen. He just threw that one away. Thomas Smith was back there. He was getting coverage from inside, getting help, as you can see, from the inside. Kurt Schultz over there to help out.
Yeah, the crowd not too happy that Schultz just takes a shot and pushes Yancey Thigpen down on an uncatchable ball.
2nd and 10 at the 27. 23 seconds remaining. Steelers have a timeout left. Pittsburgh up 13-3. O'Donnell wings one over the middle. It's complete. Andre Hastings makes his first catch of the night at the 11. And O'Donnell takes Pittsburgh's final timeout.
Well, without the big tight end, Eric Green, out with the pulled hamstring, the Steelers are going with a lot of 3 and 4 wide receiver offense in passing situations. Well, and they have been effective.
Now Earhart and Cowher have a decision whether or not they want to try to force the ball into the end zone, take a shot at a touchdown. Looks like they're going to do it. They're talking it over with O'Donnell. This is obviously a play into the end zone with no timeouts left. They can't stop the clock in the field of play, so this will probably be some sort of a fade pattern into the back corner of the end zone.
This is when you wish you had your big tight end, Eric Green.
Coming up at the half, Jeff Fisher will join us from Houston. He's the new Oilers coach. Jack Pardee fired today. The Oilers 1-9. Brent Musburger comes along from New York. Steve Young, the 49er quarterback. Alvin Harper of the Cowboys will talk about yesterday's game in San Francisco, won by the 49ers. First and 10 at the 13-yard line, and O'Donnell just throws it out of the end zone halfway to Aliquippa.
That was nothing obviously open for O'Donnell. He just threw that thing out of here. Get the field goal team on, get our 3 points, and let's go in and talk it over.
I'm sure he was told, if you throw an interception or take a sack, don't bother coming back.
You just follow the ball.
You go
out that tunnel.
You can go to Buffalo's locker room for halftime.
Now Gary Anderson will try to add his 3rd field goal of the night. It's a 30-yard attempt. Whoops. Nice placement by Royals. The snap a little errant. Royals put it down. Kendall Gammon with the snap. And with 6 seconds remaining, they tack on another 3 to the Steelers and increase the advantage to 16-3 over a perplexed Marv Levy and the Buffalo Bills.
Darryl Talley not popping right up. And you're right, Al. That was excellent work by Royals. Getting that ball placed not only quickly, but properly. See if we can take a look at it here. Look at the ball's low. It skips back, and look how quickly Royals gets it, places it in position.
But you see, Gary, though, he didn't even hesitate. No. Right in rhythm. He just relied so heavily on Royals placing that ball.
Not easy to do. Kendall Gammon, the center, who snapped it back. And just like that, because of the good kickoff return, Buffalo's field goal is negated by Pittsburgh. And there's Talley still down. He made it over to the Buffalo sideline, but he's down.
Bruce Smith hurting. Darryl Talley hurting.
Andre Reed.
Thomas hurting. Andre Reed playing hurt. And that offensive line, we've already told you about them. They came out of the Jets game a week ago with a lot of nicks.
The Buffalo momentum there was very short-lived.
Well, Thurman Thomas and the Bills try to regroup at the half as Anderson sends a bouncer down to the 32-yard line, and it will be down there by James Patton. And the first half comes to an end. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who beat Buffalo 23-0 a year ago tonight.
That's when the clock should stop right there. You have surrendered yourself. You have said the play is over, and that is the end of it. And the officials are wise to bring everybody back out. They are correct.
James Patton was even more wise.
Yes, he was.
Not trying to run with the ball. That's not one of his strong suits.
No, nobody's going to call him swivel hips. 6'3", 290 pounds.
Now the head of the officials is with us tonight, Jerry Seaman. I'm sure he is one of the making an observation.
Well, this half
doing this according to the book.
This half will not end the way the first in the game. Trailing 16-3. Darryl Talley also shaken up. Gary Anderson sends it down to Nate Turner. He brings it back from the 9-yard line and gets taken down at the 26-yard line. An ankle tackle by Myron Bell. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Chrysler and the new Chrysler Cirrus Sports Sedan. The Norelco Razor, for our closest shave ever. And Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. Thurman Thomas is back in the game. Jim Kelly guiding the Bills from the 26-yard line, and let's see if Buffalo can get something started. They were shut out here last year. 3 points in the first half here tonight, and the pass is too high off the fingertips of Russell Copeland. Second down.
And the Bills will open the second half with their hurry-up offense, and now Copeland is going out. Another receiver for the Bills. He grabbed at his hamstring.
And Steve Tasker has to come in. Remember, Don Beebe is inactive. Bucky Brooks, the rookie, is inactive. They are really hurting.
Well, they're so hurting. Tasker doesn't have a reception all year.
And here is Thurman Thomas.
More than that, Tasker only has 10 in 6 years.
Gerald Williams makes the tackle. Copeland comes back into the game. It'll be 3rd down and 2, and we'll take a look at the numbers for the first 30 minutes of competition.
Well, it's been a Steeler domination on the scoreboard for sure, and as you can see from a stat standpoint, only 80 yards in the first half for the Bills, their lowest output of the season.
But they do pick up the first down here on a 3rd and 2. And Thurman Thomas provides a spark up to the 49, but a flag is down. There's a face mask here. Rod Woodson with the tackle, and 3 flags are down.
Oh, that was so typical of a Thurman Thomas run. He's so difficult to get down.
And
Fights
with the
scrambles. Whoever did the face mask, Darren Perry, might be the culprit. It was seen by all as 3 separate officials threw their flag. And this is the personal foul face mask against the Steelers. This will be a 15-yard walk-off.
That's when you get him by the mask and try to spike him with it. No problem with the communications, but it was rather obvious. And they'll walk off big time. Here comes Thurman Thomas.
Perry's 39, by the way. Let's see if it's him. Yep. No?
Well, there's a couple of them.
Well, if that's the face, I guess that's the face mask. The only hand on a face mask we saw right there.
That's blatant enough, though, and dangerous enough, and you're running full speed to get that personal foul call. That's a very dangerous maneuver.
Thomas out, and Miguel Jourdain is in.
I'm surprised that was the 15-yard face mask. He never really did grab it and latch on, which is normally what it takes.
Well, you got John Davis jumping. You got Yanel Jourdain, who has played very little in the backfield, leaning in to hear Kelly's signals.
Prior to the snap, number 65 offense, 5-yard penalty, it remains first down.
This is the concern on the part of Jim Schaffner about running this hurry-up offense with the new line, if you will, the new offensive line, not the experienced one that they've had for a couple of years, and this is why they've not been doing a lot of it. They like to come out of the huddle, give the linemen a chance to think about it as they move up to the line of scrimmage.
1st and 15, early 3rd quarter, 16-3 Steelers. Jourdain is taken down at the 44. Now, Jourdain had never carried the ball in the NFL until tonight. He was a practice squad member last year. As Frank mentioned, he's been giving them a spark in their return game. And tonight, with Thomas in and out of the lineup, they've been going to Jourdain, but right here he loses a couple.
Well, there's a lot of movement up front by the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it is obviously confusing Buffalo as far as who is to block whom.
Thomas back in the game, 2nd and 17. And Copeland looks for the flag, and here they come.
No way that's not going to bring a flag. The contact after 5 yards, you'll get it every time. Tim McKyer on the coverage. There was a blitz. Of course, that leaves you in strong man for man. You try to play it as tight as you can, but the flag came down. Little Copeland breaking to the inside. Here comes McKyer. Has a hand on him right there in front of him, across his front of his mask, and the flag's flying.
Steeler fans see that on replay and express their dissatisfaction. They couldn't have been looking at the same replay we were looking at. That was as obvious as interference gets.
1st down, Buffalo at the Pittsburgh 33. Here's Thurman Thomas. He takes it to the 29-yard line. It's a gain of 4, 2nd down, 6.
Very important drive for Buffalo. Get some points on the board this opening drive.
If they're able, Frank, to get into the end zone. Oh, yeah. And take a look at this. Now, keep in mind, outscored 14-0. That's not just like last week. That's the entire season. The Steelers have only allowed 14 points, but they haven't scored a single point the entire season in the 3rd quarter.
2nd and 7, and the catch is made by Russell Copeland to the 20, and that's a Buffalo 1st down.
I'll tell you, the Steelers had so much success last week against Houston, 34 blitzes. But Houston is not the Buffalo Bills. The Bills used to picking up the blitz. They picked it up beautifully. Copeland was right in sync with Kelly. They were very cool, very calm. Here comes everybody. And Kelly right in the hands of Copeland.
Well, you get a Buffalo touchdown here. It's 16-10, and Three Rivers gets a little jumpy.
And Kelly to Reed, Andre Reed for the touchdown. He got position on Tim McKyer and scores.
Well, McKyer never saw the ball. Tim McKyer's playing Andre Reed, and he never looked at the football, never saw it, thus was never able to make a play on it.
Oh, and what an important drive that was. Mistake again. McKyer takes the inside. Somewhere along the line here, he's got to take a peek. Andre Reed played it beautifully, and it was thrown beautifully to the outside by Kelly.
By the time McKyer gets around to thinking about looking at the ball, it's already there.
Here's Christie for the point after. Reed's 50th catch of the year, a 19-yard TD. That makes it 16-10. There's a marker down. .56 remaining in the third quarter as we check out the violation.
Well, I'll tell you, that was also a lot of faith on the part of Kelly and his receiver, Andre Reed, to throw it into the coverage, knowing and counting on Andre Reed to go up and fight for it and get the ball. Of course, they've connected now with 54 times for touchdowns.
24 yards in penalties against the Steelers here. 54 times, as Frank mentioned.
Number 26 lined up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty that will be carried over to the kickoff.
That was a wonderful look at Andre Reed, who at first did not have control of the football, but then got it back, tucked it away before he got his feet down. That was just brilliant work by the 6-time Pro Bowler. That's why he's been to half a dozen.
One out early, and they're not going to take any chances with him, so the big tight end is done for the evening. And
having a good year too, Al. All 34 receptions coming into tonight. This could hold him back for a while.
Yep. Well, the 34 receptions made him the leading receiver of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
A lot more pressure on the wideouts as Christie's kick is taken by Yancey. Thigpen. And Thigpen brings it out to the 36-yard line. Keith Gilganius with the tackle. So the Bills go 74 yards, 24 yards in penalties aiding them. Reed with a 19-yard TD reception. Andre's had a big night. He's moved into 10th place on the all-time reception list. He now has 50 or more receptions in each of 9 straight years, tying the record held by Gary Clark with that record in progress for Gary, and Jerry Rice has already gone over 50 this season for the 9th straight year.
And even though he's a 10-year player, you look at his build, you look at his durability, you think over the next 3 or 4 years, Andre Reed could keep playing this game. He's going to post some large numbers before his playing career is over. He's going to post Hall of Fame type numbers.
Foster picks up a yard. Now, there it is, the active combination. Steve Young and Jerry Rice, 54 touchdowns. Kelly and Reed now with 54. Aikman and Irvin, for instance, and you think about them connecting a lot, only 26 to this point. The all-time record is Dan Marino to Mark Clayton, 77 touchdown catches for Mark.
Half of his 600-plus passes have been caught coming over the middle also.
2nd and 9 as O'Donnell throws, and the catch is made by the rookie Charles Johnson at the 41-yard line. He's about 4 yards shy of the first.
Andre Reed, one of the toughest receivers I've ever seen in coming across the middle.
Andre Reed from Kutztown University, located in the state of Pennsylvania.
You know, we looked at that last graphic, and Steve Young to Jerry Rice was the leading active combination with 54. Joe Montana to Jerry Rice, they were good for 55 touchdowns. So Jerry Rice seems to be the common denominator there, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. On 3rd down, Hastings can't make the catch at the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you, Neil O'Donnell was feeling the presence of Bruce Smith behind his back. Hastings was wide open. Pass that should have been completed, but Neil O'Donnell, I've got to believe, was wondering what was going on behind his back with Bruce Smith. Good move. In fact, the defender slips. Down he goes. Number 20, Henry Jones. And O'Donnell overthrows it. But this man is such a presence on a football field.
He's turning in one courageous performance tonight, isn't he?
Here's Mark Royals angling one inside the 10. It's taken at the 9 by Jeff Burris. And Burris brings it back out to the 20-yard line. So the Bills have it after a 50-yard punt and a 13-yard run back, 10:25 to go in the third. Sudden, the Buffalo Bills are within 6. They have the ball. You don't want to overstate things, but in a way, it's a crucial game for Buffalo, and their season could be riding on the outcome of this one tonight.
A loss, and they're 5-5. Thurman Thomas up to the 29-yard line, tackled by Rod Woodson.
And you don't get to be the 4-time AFC representative in the Super Bowl by having a lot of heart, without having a lot of heart, a lot of pride, and a lot of talented football players. Buffalo's going after this thing, and Pittsburgh better realize it.
2nd and 2. Thomas takes it up to the 30. He's a little short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and inches. It would be such a blow to lose a game like this because you come back Sunday with Green Bay. They play on Thanksgiving Day against Detroit. And then down the road after that is Miami and Minnesota. Tough schedule coming up for Buffalo. And almost as important for Pittsburgh is a loss in their 2 back of Cleveland. 3rd and a short 1, and Thomas does get it. He takes it out to the 32, but a marker is down.
There was a tight end flinch here at the bottom of the formation.
Flags came late.
They did come late.
Looked like an offsides, and then the flags didn't fly until after the ball carrier had been dropped.
Ed Hockley is the referee.
He's talking to the line judge, who was on the near side of the field to our side. Earth to Mars.
Prior to the snap, number 88 of the offense, false started. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Pete Metzelaars.
Yeah, it was from the far side, from Marv Levy's vantage point, so there's no way that he could see Metzelaars flinch.
That was before the ball was snapped, so it would take precedence over anything else that happened.
But flinch he did. Metzelaars is in the lower right there. That's really all it takes. When you're in a 3-point stance, you're not allowed even that much movement.
And again, it was the showing of the blitz on the part of the Steelers. Parnell Lake up there from the safety spot, and that brought about the blitz.
Call it cruel, call it inhuman, but it is the rule.
3rd down and 6, 9:40 to go, 3rd quarter. Steelers 16, Bills 10. Kelly stays in, and the pass is incomplete. Russell Copeland was there, covered by Tim McKyer. Looks for the flag.
That time, good coverage by McKyer. Didn't get the flag. Timed it out perfectly against Copeland. The blitz was on.
McKyer is really playing it really close. You can't see McKyer. He's to the left. There he is, 24. Now watch him here. He comes in on Copeland.
Boy.
Makes contact and makes it low, but times it well enough that he doesn't get the flag. And I think Marv Levy's not happy there wasn't a flag.
But he's also unhappy. I think he wanted to know about that, the call on Metzelaars. He went up to the head linesman and said, "Who called that?" Here's Moore to kick. Rod Woodson back to receive it. Beautiful kick. 49 yards to the 26. And Rod brings it back to the 31.
Tasker
had the tackle.
What a play by
missed him and came back and got him. Flag is down, but that was a great play by Tasker.
Two guys are trying to block him, Frank. 2 guys are assigned to him. He beats the 2 of them, gets all the way down there, disrupts it, misses, knocks him to a knee, and then comes all the way back and gets in on it again.
He makes that annual trip to Honolulu.
You better believe it.
We'll be seeing him over there, I'm sure.
You bet.
There was no foul, no illegal hands on the play. 1st down.
Where are we staying over there anyway?
Some of the guys will be at the Holly Kalani. 9:20 was wonderful to watch.
I think she'll be around.
Yep. Pittsburgh, 1st and 10. Set up the screen to Barry Foster. Rumbles for the 1st down up to the 44-yard line.
Boy, Neil O'Donnell paid the price for setting up a screen, and he knew he had to hold it.
Well,
Barry
Dan,
Foster got chopped.
He's got a target on him.
Yep.
Barry
Barry
Foster.
Foster.
He's in a very delicate condition.
And Barry Foster kind of got knocked off balance trying to get out to get into that screen and forced O'Donnell to hold the ball longer than he wanted to. And Cornelius Bennett has a free run at him. Nice work by O'Donnell.
8:40 to go in the third quarter. Pittsburgh with the ball on a 6-point lead, and Barry Foster runs into Bruce Smith and the company up at the 44-yard line. Jeff Wright among those providing the company. Second down and 9.
The crowd has quieted somewhat here at Three Rivers Stadium. They were really into it in the first half. Keep in mind here with 8 minutes and 15 seconds left in the third quarter that the Steelers have yet to score in the third quarter all season long. You can go get your hot dog at halftime and not come back until the start of the fourth quarter in a Steelers game and not miss a whole lot.
Second down and 9. And the catch is made up at the 50-yard line. Yancey Thigpen is there. It'll be 3rd and 3. You know, and to put it into perspective, Dan, what's amazing is they scored 77 points in the second quarter, 50 points in the fourth quarter, and the goose egg in between.
Well, they are slow starters coming out of the locker room. They've only scored 23 points in the first quarter.
Like they're not getting out of the locker room.
Yeah, you talk about spreading that over 9 games, and you look how long it's been back to the 42 Lions. And that was only an 11-game season. Didn't they have some ridiculous number, like they only scored 30-some points all year or something? Yeah, 38 all year.
3rd and 3 here from the 50, and O'Donnell gets smacked as he throws it out of bounds. And the smacker was Mark Maddox.
I'll tell you, I think that'll be the last time you will see that. About 3 shifts have been in motion, and nobody on Maddox, and he almost kills your quarterback. A lot of double movement, looked like the Dallas Cowboys back in the 60s. Maddox totally unheated, comes right between a couple of blockers and just smears the quarterback.
I'm surprised Neil O'Donnell is still in this game the way it started. It looked like on the very first series that he wasn't going to make it. He's hung in there.
Here's Mark Royals, the master of planting it inside the 20. And for some reason, a fair catch is called by Jeff Burris. Well, that's a rookie. They keep saying it's a rookie mistake, but I mean, the guy, you know, went through college, returned punts there as well. Really no excuse. Fair catch at the 6.
Welcome to another Monday Night Football 25th anniversary moment brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It's just plain smart to fly Southwest.
Is Dan Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the son of Art Rooney, the legendary Rooneys of Pittsburgh, not only the owner of the Steelers, but Dan among those looking very seriously into purchasing the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. And Ralph Wilson, the owner of the Buffalo Bills since their very first day in the American Football League in 1960. Here's Jourdain up to the 9, and in terms of owners, two of the very great guys.
Rooney, a name synonymous with the National Football League, franchise formed back in the 30s by his father and one of the great people, his father, Mark Rooney, as his son Dan.
Second and Kelly gets sacked, the ball is loose, and it's a touchdown. Gerald Williams with a TD. Rod Woodson created it.
We talked earlier about the success of the corner blitz and how there's no way to defend it if it is timed properly. Again, Woodson's lined up in the slot, and he times it beautifully, comes right off the corner, right in Kelly's face, and that's a Pittsburgh touchdown.
He is one of the most disruptive players you'll ever find in this game.
He comes right in from the right. Jim Kelly never sees him. So what has Rod Woodson done tonight? He's intercepted a pass, run it in for a touchdown, knocks the ball loose, and Gerald Williams gets the touchdown. A pretty strong night for Rod Woodson.
I'm sure Woodson just came on his own. He probably had a man coverage. He probably was in the coverage. That one was just a delayed blitz by Woodson. He took the risk again. He does it so often. And great athleticism. And he is so...
Oh, here's Pittsburgh. Look at this formation.
They're going to go for 2 because they are up right now.
And Buffalo's taking a timeout.
Yeah, by 22 to 10. And Buffalo said, well, wait a second.
That's their first charge, team timeout.
The Chicago Bears, we saw that first with them, didn't we? Like that fire drill out there.
Defensive timeout before the conversion when we come back. 2 defensive touchdowns tonight. 3 field goals by Gary Anderson, and now the conversion attempt, and they're going to do the same thing except to the left side.
Going the second time that the Steelers have attempted a two-point conversion, and this play is whistled dead before it begins.
Well, I think the Steelers were offsides. It looked like Duval Love, number 67, was dropping back into pass protection. He was one of the guys who was moving.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty, retry.
I think you might think about kicking the ball here.
Yes, I think so. Here comes Barry Anderson. There's Love, number 67, and of course, who's he lined up against? Yeah, Bruce Smith. That'll make you get a good jump.
Yep. Duval, poor Duval. It's the lament of the offensive line.
Sure it is.
You know, Dan, it's the only time you get your name mentioned, but we talked to Bill Cowher about him last night. He said he's having a very steady, solid, outstanding season.
Came to Pittsburgh from the Rams in '92.
And Gary Anderson boots it through. And Bobby April paces the sideline as the Pittsburgh Steelers add one and now lead at 23-10.
Let's go back and take a look at Rod Woodson's play. Here's Woodson right here. Now, one of the things Bill Cowher told us was he wants him here in the middle of the field in a 3-receiver set. But watch the rotation of the Pittsburgh defense as they cover for Woodson when he comes in on the blitz. And again, look at the timing. He cheats. There's the snap. His teammates are covering for him, and Jim Kelly never sees him coming. Gerald Williams gets the touchdown. A beautiful defensive call by Dom Capers, the coordinator of the Steelers, and of course, well appreciated in the
Rooney box.
In the Rooney box.
Well, a lot of people are talking about Capers as a defensive coordinator who might be well suited to move right on to becoming a head coach. Certainly a lot of talk about it.
Well, it's there he is. He tutored under a lot of good coaches.
Sure did. Jim Morrow for one.
Yeah, Don James, one of my old coaches at Michigan, who, of course, so many good years at the University of Washington. And Dom Capers is one of those guys. You know that list? Tony Dungy. It's got a lot of names on it, and a lot of guys have earned their shot.
Jeff Fisher came off the list.
Yeah, we scratched him.
He's the head coach at Houston as the kick is run back by Yanel Jourdain. Funny how the little things really mean so much. Burris made that fair catch at the 6. You got to give Mark Royals credit for pinning Buffalo. Then Burris made the fair catch. That set up the opportunity for the defensive touchdown. Also, Buffalo with Thurman Thomas in and out of the lineup tonight. They have to go with Yanel Jourdain in the backfield, so you don't even know about the blocking assignments. There it is.
The Steeler defense gets off the snide, scoring twice tonight.
And the Steelers, for the first time this year, score in the 3rd quarter.
And the crowd's back into it.
Kelly on an end around to Andre Reed. And Reed is out of bounds, forced out at the 45-yard line by Woodson.
Boy, what a good block by Kent Hull, the center. Boy, he snaps the ball and comes all the way out and makes that block for Andre Reed. That's why Kent Hull is a Pro Bowler, and he's limping around. He's hurt. He snaps the football and comes all the way around and makes the block. Here comes Hull. Boy, you don't see many centers in this game that are capable of doing that.
Here's Thurman Thomas taking it across the 50 to the 49 on first down. A 5-yard pickup after that 20-yard gain by Reed. Lake makes the hit. 2nd and 5. Bill staying with their hurry-up offense. That, of course, means Kelly is in charge of calling the plays on the field. 2nd and 5 at the 49-yard line. Thomas to the 47. One other note, Gerald Williams with that touchdown, number 98 of the Steelers. Here's a guy who's been toiling in anonymity until tonight. He's been a Steeler since 1986. Doesn't get a lot of acclaim. His first ever touchdown.
In the last 5 years, he was a nose tackle.
3rd and 3. Kelly throws. Reed makes the catch, and it's a first down at the 40. Spun down by McKyer.
It's a thing, the beauty to watch when this offense is functioning.
Well, this offense has actually scored more points than the Pittsburgh offense.
That much time left in the 3rd. Kelly. Oh, terrible looking screen. Metzelaars makes the catch. He's been well advised to drop it.
Gerald Williams again.
Loss of 8.
Even though the Bills came back just before the half, you still had a sense that the physical part of this game was all in the hands of the Steelers, and you got a good look at it there, just smothering the screen and Metzlar's.
Well, again, I think it might be a lack of respect for Buffalo's deep outside passing game. They just don't fear it.
2nd and 18.
John Fina was, what was he doing?
It's a good move, whatever it was.
That was the slowest false start I ever saw.
Great. It was so slow it wasn't one. Thomas takes it to the 43. Perfect.
That's how you get away with it. You come back so slow that you act like you meant to do it.
Classic.
A little hysteria there. They were running out of time on the play clock, and Kelly, I think, probably just called a quick draw to get the ball snapped before they drew the penalty.
3rd and 13 now at the 43. Pittsburgh leading by 13. Steelers rush 4. Great job by the secondary, and then Kelly has to throw it into the down marker. 4th down.
Looked like he was in a dunking contest. He hit the marker, and somebody drops into the pool.
Bullseye.
This is just superior coverage on the outside. Little wide left snap from center Kent Hull, but again, Jim wanted to go to one of his 2 outside receivers, and they just disappeared into the abyss that is the Pittsburgh secondary.
Chris Moore.
Like it?
I like that. Yeah, we got it. And it's fair caught at the 18 by Charles Johnson. So 3:35 remains now in the 3rd. Kelly just shaking his head, and the Bills down by a score of 23-10. Well, we go to the Astrodome next week. 2 teams who have really come upon rough times. The Giants have lost 7 straight after winning their first 3. Lose late in the game yesterday to Arizona. And the Oilers with a major change today. Jack Pardee is out. Kevin Gilbride, the offensive coordinator, is out. Jeff Fisher is in, the head coach. And when Kelly came off the field, he and Marv.
Well, they went with the hurry-up offense. He was one that called the play. He looked like he was mad at the route that one particular receiver had run.
Yeah, I don't sense that he was actually yelling at Marv Levy about something that Marv Levy did. Yeah.
Cam Morris, meanwhile, takes it out of bounds after a gain of about 8.
Frank, I think your perception of that is absolutely correct.
Well, you could see right after he threw the ball and threw it away, and you could see. Then he came to the sideline, and again, our producer found this shot. Kenny Wolf talking to Andre Reed, who obviously had run the wrong pattern for him, and he tried to explain that to Marv Levy. And Reed probably saying, I missed the call. When you call it at the line of scrimmage, sometimes you're going to miss it.
2nd and 1.
And the important thing to remember at home, it really might not have been any of that.
I think it was that.
Here's Morris to the 30. That's a first down. And then again, I mean, it's such an amazing thing about sports and about football. I mean, Kelly to Reed, it's like Rodgers and Hart. I mean, they've been together for so long. They've connected so beautifully. We've documented it, and yet you do have instances, even after all of these years, when you've got problems.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you have a lot of it in this offense, particularly when you're playing away from home. The noise and the crowd senses you're trying to change plays. They're watching the play clock tick down. They start making louder noises, and sometimes it's tough to communicate.
1st and 10 at the 30. 2.5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Van Morris. And he is written down by a trio of Bills. Bennett, Patton, flag down. It hockeyly indicates a hold against the Steelers.
Jim Kelly plays that position like a lineman. Quarterback, he is one tough guy.
Holding by the offense, number 88. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, he's one of those quarterbacks that's big enough to play linebacker or...
He hangs out with the guys, too. He's over there talking a moment ago. You saw him talking to his center, Kent Hall. He's trying to keep this football team together. They still have a shot, even though they're down 23-10.
Marv Levy had one of the classic lines yesterday. Some people are thinking that Jim Kelly is an old 34, and Marv said he was an old 26, but he's not an old 34.
I'd like to know where he found the fountain of youth.
1st and 20. And it is picked off by Henry Jones at the 42. Exactly the type of break the Bills needed.
That ball, he was a sailor or was tipped at the line of scrimmage. That was a real flyer right into the arms of Henry Jones. And yeah, Barnett got a finger on it, and that just changed the trajectory of the ball intended for Johnson, I believe, and overthrown, and Henry Jones was right there.
Boy, that's good work by Barnett. Just an instinctive reaction. You throw that arm up there every play, and that's why you do it. Every now and then you get lucky. You make contact, and you get a big play that, whoa, does your team ever need so desperately.
At the 42, here is Kelly. And the catch is made over the middle, and a pickup of about 5 as Billy Brooks makes the catch. Neil O'Donnell, meanwhile, in his career has thrown 177 passes now in Monday night games, and that's the first interception we've seen.
And it's not his fault. Yep. You just have to credit Barnett with making the play.
Won't be long before Kelly is going to come right back to Andre Reed.
2nd and 4. A minute 35 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Comes the blitz.
And it was Gerald Williams across the line.
Yeah, but Fina's clear. Fina's dropping back in there as well. It's going to be a question of who the officials interpret was the first guy to move.
False start prior to the snap by the offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
I really can't. John Fina is struggling at left tackle with his ability to hear. The tackles are the farthest from the quarterback. The crowd noise is their worst enemy. It doesn't look like that far, but believe me, he has trouble hearing the quarterback when he turns his head. It's one of the things some of the owners have talked about in the rules committee about giving some help to the tackles.
On 2nd and 9, Thurman Thomas probes the middle, gets to the 37. Keevan Henry makes the tackle.
And when I say talking about giving help to the tackles, the audibilizer, those big speakers they put on the sidelines to aid the offensive tackles in hearing the quarterback call the signals, even maybe installing some speakers in the helmets of the offensive tackles to allow them to hear the quarterback calling the signal.
3rd and 6. Kelly throws, catch made at the 30-yard line. That's Andre Reed, and that will move the sticks. 1st down.
Good, sharp, crisp pattern by Reed.
Deion Figures found himself in man coverage on Reed, and Kelly recognized it. A little hook up at about 6 or 7 yards.
Now Thomas picks up 4 to the 26-yard line with a half a minute to go. Greg Lloyd makes the stop. Next week to the Astrodome we go. Giants, Oilers, new coach Jeff Fisher. Here's Reed on that end around, and he's got the 1st down, and Andre is out of bounds at the 11-yard line. A marker is down at the 21. Billy Brooks and Deion Figures, and it's a hold on Brooks.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I was surprised the flag didn't come from nearby, but they were locked up pretty good. Billy Brooks had his arms out. Hockley calls it from clear across the field, but I think it's pretty legitimate. He had him tied up. Boy, and Jim Kelly is arguing vehemently, but I think once we see this replay, you'll see that it's a hold all the way.
Holding by the offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Right there is Billy Brooks, and look, he's got the jersey of Figures grabbed and forces Figures to spin all the way around to get out of it.
Again, the frustration on the part of Jim Kelly. A couple of tough calls they've had down here. They had one in the 1st half that negated a big play. And this one negates the first down inside the 15.
It really hurts. It's really a difficult task. You don't want to say impossible, but maybe the most difficult block anybody on the field has to make is a receiver out there locked up one-on-one because of how long he has to hold the block. The reverse is coming from clear across the field. That's a block that Brooks has to hold for 5 or 6 seconds, and that's extremely difficult to do.
You're also on the end. You're very open. Everyone sees you. That was called from clear across the field.
One-on-one, out in the middle. Really a thankless job for a wide receiver to try to pull it off.
They mark it at the 27. It is 2nd and 7 for the Bills on what will be the final play of the quarter. And Thurman Thomas takes it to the 20. He's a little short of the first. Brown makes the stop. Third quarter ends with Pittsburgh leading Buffalo 23-10. And Monday Night Football returns after this word from our ABC station. 3rd and 1 Bills at the Pittsburgh 20. 23-10 Steelers. And on 3rd and 1, Thomas gets the first down and takes it to the 16-yard line. Chad Brown in on the stop.
Good blocking on the left side of the Buffalo Bill offensive line. Good solid work over there. Lucina.
First down, they give it to Thomas again. Thurman takes it to the 14. That's a pickup of 2. 2nd and 8 for Buffalo. Again, Buffalo with a loss would be 5 and 5. Only one team in history has gone to a Super Bowl after starting the year with a record of 5 and 5. The 1979 LA Rams. Thomas tonight, 2nd and 8. Kelly throwing off his back foot, throwing it away. And Kelly goes down in the arms of Ray Seals.
Think about that Rams team. They only finished the season at 9 and 7. Ended up being the Super Bowl representative. They beat Dallas in the playoffs. They beat Tampa Bay, of all teams, in the NFC Championship game. Remember that game? That's the game that Jack Youngblood played in with a broken leg.
Speaking of Tampa Bay, that's where the Steelers got Seals. He had 3 sacks last week. He has been terrorizing passers for the Steelers.
Blitz, 3rd and 8. Kelly stepping up and throwing it away. And he goes down again. They sent everybody that time, including Carnell Lake.
Oh, and Jim's holding his right arm as he heads towards the Buffalo sidelines. He's holding that baby gingerly.
They were looking at his right hand a couple of series ago. They had an ice bag on it, and he went right to the bench.
This Pittsburgh secondary has played one fine football game up to this point. They have really been smothering the Buffalo receivers.
This is a 32-yard attempt for Steve Christie. Adam Lingley snaps, Frank Reich holds. He made a 52-yarder early, and for the first time this season, he's missed a kick. It's blocked, and Pittsburgh will take it at the 27-yard line.
They are excited in Pittsburgh.
They should be. They're a good football team.
Goal attempt by Steve Christie. Pretty big statement by a pretty big rookie.
You know, they did it at the line of scrimmage. He's 6'2". I think the trajectory was bad off the foot of Christie.
He didn't get much penetration. You're right, Frank. He didn't get much penetration. He didn't jump very high.
And now the Steelers oddly go to the air on first down in a situation where they're up by 13. Marcus Patton got a hand on it at a time when you would think they would be using a lot of the clock. Meanwhile, here was Kelly going at it with Jim Schaffner.
Schaffner, of course, the offensive coordinator who calls the plays when they operate out of a huddle. And I talked to him before the game, and he said Kelly calls the plays when they go with the hurry-up offense, but he was obviously either incensed with Schaffner or about something as he was expressing it to Schaffner.
Well, look at Kelly walk the sidelines, yelling at his teammates, trying to get him going.
Here's Bam Morris on 2nd and 10. And Bam is taken down up at the 31-yard line after a gain of 4 by Cornelius Bennett.
You know, there's something about Bam Morris that when you think of a big guy named Bam, that he makes a lot of people miss. He's got pretty nimble feet. It's one of the first things that that Bill Cowher talks about when he discusses Bam Morris, that the guy's agile. The guy is more than just a power back that just slams it in there and moves the pile.
Yeah, we asked him why a third-round draft pick, why they waited that long, because he has played superb football since Foster's been out. And maybe Cowher said it was his speed, 4.6 for the 40. He wasn't whether it was defined whether he was a running back or a blocker.
Darryl Talley went limping off. O'Donnell on 3rd and 5, throwing incomplete. Stone looks around for a flag.
I'm amazed that up 23-10, the 2 out of the 3 Steeler plays are passes in attempting to protect the lead here in the 4th quarter. I'm stunned.
Very, very shocking. I mean, especially a team that really makes its mark on the ground with regularity. Bam Morris has been a great 4th quarter runner over the past 4 weeks. Mark Royals is kicked. Fielded at the 21. This is Jeff Burris. Brings it back to the 27. So at a time when they could have taken some time off the clock, they take off just a matter of seconds. And we still have 13:07 left of Pittsburgh. The Golden Triangle right below him.
High above the Allegheny and the Monongahela.
The confluence
of the Ohio.
Yes, sir. Steel City. Buffalo at the 27-yard line. They're trying to get back in it. They're down by 13. Here's Thurman Thomas up to the 31. Meanwhile, at the 2-minute warning in the first half, our esteemed colleague Lynn Swan, who spends a lot of time with the big brothers and big sisters, he's the national board president, received a check for $50,000 from NFL Charities on behalf of that organization. Very proud of you, Swanee. There he is. 2nd and 5. And Thurman Thomas picks up the first down, takes it to the 39, tackled by Deion Figures. Jim Kelly, well, it's been that kind of a night last series.
That was a big shot Ray Seals put on him.
It continues. Yeah. Kevin Green with a sack. Kevin Green, the longtime Ram, opted to sign here, has found a home in Pittsburgh, and he loves it, and the feeling is mutual.
Well, you know, the Bills made a mistake there. They think that Thurman Thomas is going to be able to keep Kevin Green from getting to the quarterback. Kevin Green has to be treated the same way you treat a defensive end. You really can't ask Thurman Thomas to block him. It's not going to do it.
2nd and 18, and here is Thomas. And he doesn't get much back. Maybe 2 Figures comes up to make the tackle.
When you make it, you can ask him, but he's not going to do it.
No, and he can't do it.
And they had him hooked up with Green.
That was Green's 2nd sack. The Steelers have 6 sacks tonight, and very quietly, they lead the National Football League in sacks. That's 35 sacks for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think the Cowboys are 2nd with 31.
3rd and 16. And almost a 7th sack. And we have a flag down. We might have grounding.
Oh, and Kevin Green looks like he's hurt.
Kelly threw that ball in the arms of the Steeler, but hit his own man right on top of the helmet.
Kevin Green's grabbing his lower leg. I think he got whiplashed by one of his own guys.
Ed Hockley is the ref.
It was an illegal touch. The pass, first hit, an ineligible player. That foul is declined. There was also intentional grounding by the offense. That penalty is accepted. Loss of down, 10 yards.
That's the tough one. You lose the down with it. You see Kelly, he was trying to throw it away. Hits his own man with it. Boom. Hits Glenn Parker, I think.
And the ruling there is that Jim Kelly had not left the pocket. He may have retreated, but he was still between the offensive tackles, which technically means that he is still in the pocket. Thus, he is not afforded the luxury of throwing the ball away without a penalty.
Well, and there's concern now on the Steelers sidelines as they look at the left leg of Kevin Green.
And here goes Buffalo again in a 4th and forever.
Yep. This is 4th and 27. Earlier they had a 4th and 40. Here's Chris Moore. He booms this one. A beauty. Fielded at the 24 is Charles Johnson. Tasker is the first guy down there. He escapes him. Well, he made it interesting starting. And the net was 4 yards on the return. 54-yard kick. Bill Cowher. Bill Cajolia. Bill Baracha. Remaining in the 4th quarter, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers do figure to take some time off the clock. Up by 13.
I don't think we'll see a series like we saw a moment ago. I think Cowher probably grabbed Ron Earhart by the neck and said, look, let's run this thing a mile.
Inexplicable. Bam Morris pumps his way for a gain of 2 up to the 29-yard line.
Well, actually, Al, you know, Saturday was your birthday. And I just want you to know that we have a little cake up here in the booth.
Oh,
Al.
no.
Happy birthday, Al, because we're under the impression that it was kind of a big birthday, wasn't it?
One of those big ones.
They're all big.
No, I mean, how big was this one, Al?
Well,
how did you stay out of the newspapers?
USA Today doesn't publish on Saturday.
How old were you, Al?
Thank God.
You know we can find out.
Al, how old were you on Saturday?
You know, when I was 19, I lied so I could get a, I could go to a bar in Arizona. Oh, and you're making me pay for those 2 years now, aren't you? Bam Morris up to the 32. Is this my gift? This is it.
Al, happy birthday to you. We tried to find 50 candles, but we just couldn't come up with 50 candles.
Well, that's 1996. It'll be the 3rd year of the 4-year contract here. You guys are so bad.
Is this another one of those years where you're going backwards instead of forward?
Well, all I know is you're older than I am now.
Happy birthday.
You guys.
Happy birthday.
I love you anyway. I think.
Dan didn't bake that.
Oh, man. 3rd and 5. Here is O'Donnell. And that's incomplete.
Andrea, I need some napkins. I've got frosting all over my microphone cord.
I know one thing. I'm still a lot younger than Marv Albert. Who is that?
Who is it? Ah, boy. What lengths we won't go to for a laugh.
Right. I'm sure this is a closed circuit telecast, right? Mark Royals kicks, and there is Burris at the 13-yard line. And he brings it back up to the 31. And so with 9:16 remaining in the 4th, a 55-yard kick.
Early out here, aren't they?
Yeah. Coming up.
The holiday season is upon us.
You'd never know with this weather, though.
A magnificent day here in Pittsburgh.
Well, here was shirt sleeves. Everyone was out sunning themselves.
Not only hot, but it's humid tonight. Sticky. Ball at the 31 for the Buffalo Bills. Kelly's already been sacked 6 times and almost to 7. And then Dion Figures blows an easy interception.
I really thought Jim was trying to throw that ball away, but he put it right in the arm of Figures.
That ball just looked like it just got totally away from Jim Kelly. His body language, everything was aimed towards the sidelines and throwing the ball away, and it just took off to the right. Very fortunate for Buffalo, it was an interception.
2nd and 10 at the 31 as Kelly fires, and Reed finds the open space up at the 45, and that's a 1st down. Tackled by McKyer, 14-yard gain.
If this is anything like the old Buffalo Bills, down 23-10 with 8 minutes and 45 seconds left to play, nowhere near an insurmountable deficit. Nowhere near that.
But it just doesn't feel that way.
I think we'll find out in the next 8:45 whether they are like the old Bills.
And Andre Reed juggles and never had possession. Incomplete.
Never had control of it. Kelly gets hit again.
Greg Lloyd drilled Reed, and Gerald Williams ran into Kelly.
Kelly came into the game with only 19 sacks. He's up that number considerably tonight, but there have been so many hits on Kelly.
Well,
He'll sit in the pocket like no quarterback you've ever seen.
Couldn't have thrown it any better.
Couldn't throw it any better, and he got hit, as he does so often.
And Andre Reed proves that he's human. He looked downfield before he caught the ball.
2nd and 10 as Kelly dumps one to Yonel Jourdain. Tackled by Dion Figures.
And a good open field tackle by Figures.
So 3rd and 7, 8:10 to go. Buffalo down by 13. There it is in the second half. Buffalo with 3 times as much yardage, but the difference is tonight in the game, the 2 defensive touchdowns for Pittsburgh. 3rd and 7. Kelly from the gun. Kelly guns a wobbly pass that Reed can't get control of, and incomplete.
Darren Perry, whoa, what a hit. We talked about Carnell Lake and Andre Reed, who came into this game playing hurt with a sore knee. Well, took quite a shot, and he is staying down.
A year ago, on the near sideline, it was a tremendous shot on Don Beebe by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who their secondary is redefining hard hitting tonight.
I don't think this was a headshot. This going just under the shoulder.
That's a good, clean shot by Darren Perry. That's just right on the shoulder pad. That's just knocking the ball loose. That's the way a defensive back is supposed to play it. Andre Reed is up, and he's headed over. Boy, this has been a textbook night by the Pittsburgh secondary, and they've been doing this for a while. They're a good group.
Hey, you hear so much about Rod Woodson, and well, you should, but it's kind of lost by many. The Carnell Lake and Darren Perry are 2 of the best safeties in this game.
Meanwhile, it's 4th and 7, and the Bills, well, there's a sense of urgency, obviously, here. They're down by 13. They're 0 for 6 on 4th downs this year, and they are compelled to go for it.
It's not often you can sit in on one play, middle of the season almost, and watch a season maybe ending.
It's aggressive, though. You're only 2 scores down, and there is 7:45 left. This is very aggressive by Buffalo.
But they're minus Andre Reed. He's out. Tasker is in. They have to get to the Pittsburgh 44 to convert. And the catch is made, and forward progress by Bill Brooks should net the first down, and does at the 43.
Well, aggressiveness pays off.
Kelly just had all of his receivers go down and turn and look to him after they picked up first down yardage. He picked out the open man, and Bill Brooks has been doing that for a lot of years. One of the fine possession receivers around.
1st and 10 at the 43. Kelly throws, and into traffic, incomplete. Steve Tasker, the intended receiver. 2nd down. A little behind him.
Tasker is playing for the first time in about 5 weeks without a cast on a broken thumb.
Now Andre's coming back in. 2nd and 10. 7:10 to go. 4th quarter. 23-10 Steelers. And Metzelars gets away from a tackle and takes it to the 26. He spun away from Carnell Lake and is tackled by Gary Jones.
Big 6'7" target. He doesn't have the speed that Keith McKellar, who occupied this spot up until a couple of years ago, had, but he is a big target, and he can put on a pretty good lumber when he gets that ball tucked away.
17-yard gain, 1st down at the 26. Of all time. Rod Woodson and Carnell Lake were blitzing. They couldn't execute, and it cost them 9 yards.
And with that crowd so noisy, running out of time, there's no way you can change the play at the line of scrimmage. He had no chance.
Well, it's supposed to be a delayed handoff, and Jim Kelly just not able to get the ball to Thurman Thomas. I don't know if Thomas was too close to the line or Kelly was too deep.
Bad looking play.
Kelly on 2nd and 17, and nearly picked off. They say incomplete. Carnell Lake and Pete Metzelaars rolling around.
Well, Carnell Lake had it. He had it initially and couldn't control it.
Ball had not been controlled when it hit the ground.
Somebody will squirt these guys with a hose and let them know the play's over.
And now they're going to talk it over.
3rd down.
Hey, guys, this was over a while ago. Carnell Lake had it. The ball initially, well, Metzelaars had it.
Yeah.
You're right, Metzelaars had it first, then Lake's got it when he's on the ground, and then once it touches the turf, it's a moot point. You're right, Metzelaars had it first. Lake had it second, the ground had it third, and that's the end of it.
Well, I don't think there's any question. We're in a 2-down situation, 3rd down at about 17 now, but Bills can think about getting half of it, but they're going to go also on 4th down.
6:07 remaining. Pittsburgh leading by 13.
Here's that corner
Here they
blitz.
come again. Woodson comes from the side. Pass incomplete. 4th and 17.
Jim Kelly is taking a pounding tonight. This guy is redefining the toughness required to play quarterback in the NFL. How many times has he taken big league shots standing in there, delivered by that guy's defense, Dom Capers, from the top? Again, it's Rod Woodson on the corner blitz. That one not as violent as some of the others, but another big 4th down play.
4th and 17. And the catch is made at the 18-yard line, but short of the first. Bill Brooks gets 16.
Short of the line again. Pittsburgh takes over on down.
They needed 17. They got 16.
So hard with Kelly in trouble, and Brooks had taken it upfield and had to come back to make the completion, and he came up short of the 1st down. They always tell you, always get the 1st down yardage, but when your quarterback's in trouble, you keep working back to the ball. Tim McKyer was right there, and Brooks came up short.
Boy, great look at it. A great look at it there. Nice work, fellas. Oh,
well, we've had some extraordinary looks all night.
So close.
Pittsburgh at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10.
Let's see if they throw the ball this time. I think not. Ooh, somebody's bent over backwards there. Oh, man. Is that John Jackson, the left tackle?
Yes.
Ooh. Whoa. Oh, you hate to see that. They rolled right up behind Jackson's legs. Boy, one of the fine left tackles in the NFL. There he is right in the middle of your screen. See him there to the right? And now there he is right there, caught with both his legs underneath him, and then he's being pushed back by Mark Maddox, not aware that he's caught. Now sometimes
it scares you.
Sometimes it scares you more than it hurts you. Let's hope that that's the case here with John Jackson.
Justin Strelzik comes in to take his spot. The Steelers this year have been very lucky along the front. They're 5 interior linemen, and that's a great sign right there. Their 5 interior linemen have started every game this season.
Yep. Whoa. I think that's shake of the head, Frank.
We talked with him last night at the hotel.
He's a good football player. He's a big son of a gun, too.
He is big. He said, "Where's the big man?" And I said, looked up, and I looked up, and I said, "You don't mean Deerdorf."
No, not compared to him.
He used to be big.
He's every bit of 6'6", 300 pounds, and right now you can add fortunate to that list of attributes.
You know, we weren't talking football. We were talking kids when you came out.
4-year-old.
He got a little 4-year-old. He just loves it.
2nd and 10 at the 17. 5:25 to go in the 4th quarter. Steelers on top by 13. Morris. You know, we're not going to sing the last rites of the Buffalo Bills because it's not quite a dynasty. They haven't won a Super Bowl, but everybody knows 4 consecutive AFC championships. But all of a sudden, this team right now is leaking more than it has in a number of years. If they lose this game, they are 5-5. The schedule is tough down the line. The team's getting a lot older. And all of a sudden, Buffalo is clearly more vulnerable than they've been in a long time.
Well, they lost Beebe. We don't know how long there. He was out because of the concussion. We talked about the 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen they've lost in the past couple of years.
Free agency was not kind to the Bills.
3rd and 4. And O'Donnell throws, and the catch is made by John L. Williams.
And even though they don't get the first down there, a key completion, because it forces the stoppage of the clock now because Buffalo's going to take a timeout.
But it makes Buffalo take that timeout.
It makes them take a timeout.
And they only have 1 remaining.
Yep. So even though it didn't get the first down, a key completion by the Steelers.
Bill Cowher was telling us last night that, you know, it's one of the old cliches now in sports, winning ugly. He said that's what we've been doing. And again, tonight's win, it has not been a pretty football game, but 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 field goals, and they're just a few minutes away from being 7-3.
It's been a don't beat yourself offense with great defense. The defense, I've watched them the last couple of games, as we always do, and it's a well-coordinated defense. They have some real good stars on that defensive unit, but they are in such concert together. They've done a fine job with them.
But they are, you know, Eric Green's on the bench with a pulled hamstring. They are very pedestrian offensively without Eric Green. They're not scintillating with him.
And they have Miami coming in on Sunday.
I don't know that just scoring 9 points offensively is going to get it done for the Steelers down the stretch. There's Eric Green on the bench, but whoa, what a defensive football team. Joe Green and L.C. Greenwood and Jack Ham and Jack Lambert and Mel Blount would be real proud of this group.
Mark Royals to kick it now with 4:28 to go.
How about Ernie Holmes with the arrow on his head? I like Ernie, too.
Backing up at the 25-yard line for the fair catch is Jeff Burris, and that's a 51-yard kick by Mark Royals. 4:20 now left in the 4th quarter.
So you'd like to think for Buffalo, let's get something big. Let's get it, put one up as quickly as we can, but they really don't have anyone to take it deep. A few times they've tried to go deep tonight. They have tried to go deep to Andre Reed. He's the underneath man. And they're missing Beebe. They're missing him a great deal because he provides the speed.
And it tells you the years that they moved the ball so prolifically offensively. What a role James Lofton played for them.
And Keith McKellar, the tight end.
Both of whom very capable of going deep. McKellar in the middle, Lofton wide.
1st and 10 from the 25. The catch is made by Metzelaars. Up to the 39 he goes. 1st down.
I think Kelly's going to be able to find Metzelaars a lot if he wants to take the time to work on a drive. And the Steelers are not going to, they're going to double cover the outside people. They'll cover him with the linebacker.
They have 1 timeout, and they'll get 1 more stoppage at the 2-minute warning, but they're down by 13. Kelly drops it off underneath, but Thomas can't hold it. 2nd down.
Usually sure-handed Thomas, and Kelly laughs. He had a little too much on that for Thomas, too, and he knows it. It's one that Thomas could have caught. But Kelly, under pressure once again, had a lot on it.
It was leaving a vapor trail on its way to Thurman Thomas. You're right, Frank.
2nd and 10 at the 39. Intercepted. Carnell Lake.
He's trying to find Andre Reed, I think, on a crossing pattern. And that's about as easy an interception as a guy can get. Carnell Lake just stood there and made a little move to the football, but Frank, Jim Kelly served that baby right up. Look at Lake right there. Had to go back behind himself a little bit to get it, but
he was just roaming around.
Yeah,
6
look at
defensive
that.
backs. He's a free man.
Yeah.
He's just reading the eyes of Kelly all the way.
This has been some performance by the Steelers secondary tonight.
Yeah, we've watched Rod Woodson have a great night, but Cornell Lake has had a great night also.
And big hits by Gary Jones and Perry.
It's Van Morris, wrestled down by Smith and company.
I mean, stop and think about it. Every member of this Steelers secondary has been a major contributor tonight. Deion Figures has played a solid game. McIr's come off the bench and nickel.
Buffalo takes a timeout. That is their last. Dom Capers, the defensive coordinator of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you know, in their last 3 victories, not counting this one coming up tonight, they've not scored more than 14 points in any of those games, and that tells you just how good they've been playing defensively.
Check that out. 6 sacks, 3 takeaways, and a pair of touchdowns.
Dom has done a fine job, but also keep in mind that he was brought in here by one of the fine defensive coordinators, Bill Cowher. And Bill with a great background under another fine defensive coordinator.
Marty Schottenheimer.
Marty, of course.
Somehow the defenses seem to find a way. Earlier this year, with all of the new rules put into effect to increase the scoring, Greg Lloyd and others on the bench.
They become much more chancy because of it, I think.
But the defenses have caught up again. It's 2nd and 13. And Morris tackled by Maddox.
One thing you can say about this Pittsburgh team, and this does extend to their offense as well, this is as physical a football team as there is in the National Football League. They certainly do not possess the offensive skills of Dallas and San Francisco and some of those teams. But from a physical point of view, just buckling up your chin strap and saying, let's get it on, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the equal of any team in the National Football League.
3rd down and 7. They're going to be a game behind Cleveland. 3rd and 7, and O'Donnell nearly gets sacked by Henry Jones. Then he drops it off for John L. Williams, who's doing everything he can to avoid going out of bounds, but can't.
I think it just dawned on him a little too late.
Yeah. Tried everything. He said, wait a minute, I don't want to do this.
He threw out the air brakes to no avail.
And he's had his hands on a few of them, too. 3rd leading running back in receptions in the history of the National Football League, John Williams. Came from Seattle, where he had great years up there, and he tried to put the brakes on, and they just weren't there.
He left skid marks on his way towards the sideline.
So Mark Royals will kick, and that stops the clock. It's a favor for the Bills with the way they're going. It doesn't figure to matter.
Royals gets knocked down again.
It's only the 2nd touchback for Mark Royals this season.
The punter was knocked down by his own man.
That is right, Mr. Hockley. Great job tonight by our crew. Thanks a lot, and congratulations, guys. Pictures were superb.
Outstanding.
Really good.
And happy birthday, Al.
And you'll be getting...
No, thank you.
And I think we'll all be getting bouquets from Bill Cowher, who now appears to be on his way to being 6-0.
Yep.
On Monday Night Football. He's got other coaches around the league calling him and asking him, how do you prepare your club? What are you doing? One of the things he does is he conducts a full, pretty heavy workout on Saturday night. A lot of teams maybe go through a walkthrough on Sunday night. He has a heavy practice on Saturday night.
Frank Reich is the Buffalo quarterback, and the pass is incomplete, knocked down by Lake.
You just made a lot of football players so unhappy. You're going to have a lot of players practicing late on Saturday night.
I don't think
they're not going to like that.
I don't think that was a secret.
Yeah. Well, keep in mind, the Bears talked to the Steelers before that Monday night game in Chicago, and they pretty much went through the same routine. And the next thing you know, they lost to Green Bay 33-6.
Well, so Tampa can run the same play as the Cowboys, too. That doesn't mean the result's going to be the same.
And El Jourdain up at the 22-yard line.
Pass complete for Jourdain.
It is 3rd down and 8. And the 2-minute warning is upon us. In 3, 2, 1.
One thing Tampa never wants to do is see Barry Sanders again.
For a guy from Arizona State, he really counts pretty well.
I'll say it.
Tough night for big Bruce Smith. Hurt his shoulder in the opening minutes of the game. Tried to suck it up and go, but it was not as effective as you probably would expect him to be. And for Jim Kelly, he took some shots tonight. Only last week announced his engagement to Jill Wagoner. I asked him before the game, I said, can I announce the date? He said, thought for a moment, said, no, just tell her I said hello.
Well, the Bills are going to go home 5-5. They have a tough one, Green Bay at home this week. Then Detroit Thanksgiving Day. 3rd and 8. Pittsburgh staying here against Miami, and then they go to the Raiders the following week. Frank Reich throws. The catch is made, but short of the first down. Billy Brooks tackled at the 29. It'll be 4th and 1.
We got sent some plaques up here tonight from a Hain Elementary School here in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. I guess every week they make a bunch of cookies for the Steelers. They make signs that they hang around the stadium here. Huge Steelers backers. Thanks for the memento. Appreciate it.
Metzelaars picks up the first down.
I tell you, the hitting of Woodson and Carnell Lake has been infectious. Dion Figures now puts a hit on Metzelaars.
Well,
caught him right in the stomach.
There are going to be long lines back in Orchard Park by the Buffalo Bills waiting to get in the hot tub after this game, and most of them are going to be receivers and tight ends. A punishing game and punishing hits delivered by the Steelers defense.
Well, Neil O'Donnell has joined our esteemed colleague Bob Greasy as the only quarterbacks to have won their first 6 starts on Monday Night Football. Greasy doing it back in the early 70s at the inception of the package. And O'Donnell doing it, well, O'Donnell kind of doing it like Greasy did it, pretty quietly and effectively and efficiently.
I guess we'll be seeing Neil O'Donnell in Canton, Ohio then.
Yes, that's right. Executive producer of ABC Sports, Jack O'Hara. And
You're bad.
Over a blast furnace produced by the Wolfman himself, the great
Dennis celebrating his 25th year with ABC.
Fred King and Brian Gordon. Freddie celebrating his 22nd or so. Steve Hurt, our director.
22nd year on this planet, I think.
1st and 10. As Wright throws, and stepping out of bounds there is Billy Brooks.
Donnie Schulte, I guess, celebrated his 25th year.
Drew DeRosa as well.
Yeah, that's amazing when you stop and think.
A lot of our gang has been here for a
I don't think it's so amazing.
Yeah. Well, Frank, you're only 24.
Frank, but I think you have more games than all those guys.
You haven't been ridden hard and put to bed wet like some of these guys.
I have it.
Frankie has a mask. Is that true? Well, just Brooks gets whacked by Gary Jones.
And you see that Brooks drops that ball. He drops that ball because of everything that's happened prior to this. That's a perfectly thrown ball by Jim Kelly to Brooks, and he drops that ball. That is the end result of a lot of things that have happened prior to that.
Gary Jones is not getting up.
I'm sorry, not Jim Kelly. Frank Reich threw that ball. Frank Reich, by the way, he's going to be a free agent at the end of this year. He delivers that ball perfectly to Billy Brooks.
Ooh. That head was
that's
pushed back. I hope.
Frank Reich, a free agent, as you mentioned, and they still work on Gary, and that's a good sign as he gets up.
You'd like to see that. He jammed that helmet right into the chest. The head was snapped back. And he looks to be all right.
One thing about Frank Reich, though, he might have some marketability, but here's a guy already in his 10th year. He's no spring chicken, and neither am I, but he...
Oh, Lord, thank you.
For you.
Well, that's true.
That depends upon your perspective.
That's very...
Well,
thank you, Frank.
You know the guy that... Good point. You know, the guy that Frank Reich, quite frankly, excuse me, who is out there is Bill Polian.
Right.
You know, the ex-Buffalo general manager.
That's right.
And Bill Polian is now the general manager in Carolina. And he's a guy that may give Frank Reich a good look and a good way to get an expansion franchise started.
2nd and 10 at the 44, and Reich guns one over the middle, and the catch is made by Brooks, who takes it down to the 33-yard line. So the Bills without a timeout, first down at the 33.
And by the way, Bill Polian is here at the game tonight. I saw him in the press box. Is that a coincidence?
No, he's taking in a lot of games. He's trying to figure out what they're going to do in stocking the team. And he's one of the most knowledgeable people at his business, the personnel business, that I've ever been around.
Who's going to coach the Panthers?
That's the question. They'd love to have Joe Gibbs, apparently, but
Joe keeps saying no.
Like it's going to happen.
He seems to be pretty happy with his racing career and settled in comfortably.
Some talk around here about Dom Capers maybe
over at NBC
making the move.
Meanwhile, Tom Coughlin's going to coach Jacksonville. That's already been announced, of course, and Tom is getting ready to coach next year, and he'll be amazingly the oldest coach in the AFC Central. All of the other coaches are in their 30s, and I think Tom is 48.
Meanwhile, the AFC East, those coaches have kids older than Tom Coughlin.
Ed Hockley will give us the call. And
delay of game by the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
we have a supporting graphic. There it is. Coughlin, 48 years and 2 months, and then Belichick at 42. Cowher. Jeff Fisher named today as the Oiler head coach, and we'll see him next week on Monday night against the Giants, and Dave Shula.
Do you remember when Bill Belichick left the Giants and went to Cleveland, how young we thought he was?
Yeah.
Look at
I like the, frankly, the AFC East. We got some good old boys there.
Yeah, only Pete Carroll's dragging down the average of that group.
We got Don Shula, and Marv Levy, and
Ted Marchibroda. Bill Parcells.
Right, 2nd and 15. And Reich's going to air it out, and it's a jump ball, incomplete. Brooks right in the middle of that. And the rest of our crew up here, Andrea Bryant is our kennel keeper. Bill Monahan works the sidelines. George Hill is always on the stats at a Puyallup, and Malibu Kelly Hayes, our spotter supreme.
Malibu Kelly Hayes may have a hard time getting back to Aspen, Colorado.
Snowing up there. Hey, look at this crew.
This
is what it looks like at the end here, folks.
This is a mess.
It was once referred to as Mother Love's Traveling Freak Show.
I got cake all over my coat. Where's the cake? I tell you, it's all over my pants.
Drew DeRosa giving the high sign.
Trying to hide Al's cake, and I get it all over my pants. Dry cleaners are going to love it.
That's what you get for bringing it up. Wright goes down at the 46. That's 7 sacks tonight. Kevin Green, I believe that's his 3rd. And the Steelers now with 36 to lead the NFL.
If that's Green's 3rd, that would give him 10.
Mike is trying to get his receivers back. He's ran 3 Hail Marys now.
Yeah.
Their tongues are right down to the
Look at Tasker. Tasker's only covered about a dozen punts and kickoffs.
And Reich, well, he throws, and it's incomplete, and Reich is hurt at the end of the game, and I guess Ed Hockley just gave him the benefit of the doubt. He could have called that grounding. And, well, for Buffalo, that's the way it ends. It's been that kind of night, and that's a very symbolic ending.
You admire the heart and the courage of the Buffalo Bills, from Bruce Smith to Jim Kelly to Thurman Thomas to the guys trying to play hurt, the guys trying to battle back. Look at that. There's John Jackson. If the Buffalo Bills and their Super Bowl run is over, if it has come to an end, I congratulate them. They played in a game 4 separate times that most guys played in this league never got close to. And whether they won it or not is inconsequential.
Reich is up and walking off, and that's a good sign. And Kelly and the Bills head home with a mark of 5-5. Steelers go to 7-3. Pittsburgh wins at the final score. Pittsburgh 23, Buffalo 10. Talk to you next Monday from Houston. Until then, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Hero, Lynn Swan. Good night.